I do think I do be here. We'll see though. I think I'm good. Hello. The later time. So we'll see who shows up. But I still wanted the opportunity for a later time. So without further ado, I hope everyone is doing well. I am going to continue the sandcastles today. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So we have a wave. Comes every so often. Can probably work on first. You are first, Brent. Dude, your game looks so good earlier. Holy crap, dude. Hello, Thomas. Second, welcome. Yeah, dude, that bar game. Oh my god, I was like, I cannot wait for this. I'm gonna have to watch the VOD later because I saw you explaining it. I was like, I was waiting for my buddy to show up because we were gonna do our thing, and I saw you started streaming. I was like, damn it, I gotta go say hi at least. And so I went in and said hi. Yeah, dude, it's honestly great. I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun. It already looks good. It looks like you also have like the playtesting and everything going well for it too. So I'm geeked about it. I think it'll be great. Dude, Addo's here as well. Man, we got the whole crew, bro. What is up, guys? How's all your days going? First off, before I get into anything, is it going good? Did you guys catch Brent's stream? He was streaming earlier. Yeah, how are you doing? How are you doing, Addo? I'm doing fine, Addo. Now Addo's talking in the third person. I played a little bit of your games, man. You make some of the most difficult platformers I've ever seen in my life, dude. You like very difficult games, I can tell. I appreciate it. I've tested a little bit, and there's always something that breaks. Yeah, that's usually what happens with code. I just meant from the testing perspective, it seems like you've tested it at least to some extent with your friend of like figuring out how the gameplay flow should be, or maybe that's just your intuition. It's a really good gameplay flow because I felt that like the game mechanics were awesome. I love that you can crouch and then essentially like the other person gets stunned for a moment. I thought that was really interesting because it's like a risk reward for wanting to attack someone. It's hard to test most times because, like I said, it's multiplayer only. So yeah, you have no one to play with. Yeah, dude, I could see that being difficult. I'll have to get the name of the app, but there's like a Discord like app or something where you don't need to program your game for multiplayer, but you can reach out to other people on like Discord, like your friends or something. It's kind of like Discord, and then they can still play local co-op games with you. I forget what it's called, but there is like free software to do that. So like you could do a test, and we in the Discord, all of us could like join up and then play test your game with you, if that's something you wanted to do. I just have to remember the name of the software. I have it downloaded somewhere. I'll grab it. But there's a second or so delay after you release a button so that you can't just spam it in block dashes. Yeah, that's good. That definitely delay is useful. Yeah, it was cool. My cousin and I have played a lot of local multiplayer games in the past. So, yeah, when we were playing like stuff like that, and then he's moved now to Arkansas. So I downloaded that software, and that if I ever come across a game that doesn't have networking, I'm gonna use that. I just can't remember. I haven't used the software that proficiently, but I did play a couple games with it. So yeah, I'll look into it for you. Yeah, it would be so awesome to see everyone's reactions. Yeah, dude, we could stream it. It'd be great. No, the game's good. I like the fundamentals. It's good. Yeah, Parsec. That's exactly as yes, Parsec. I think is what it's called. It is Parsec. Every time I start up my computer, I think it's like on there somewhere. I don't remember having used that. I'm pretty sure it is called Parsec. I think you're right. So yeah, we could just download that and give it a shot. Because obviously programming networking is much more difficult. But please rate my buy list. I sent you on Discord. Buy list. I've used it once to play Risk and Rain with a friend. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. Risk of Rain, another good game maker game too. Buy list. Okay. Alright, guys, let's rate Thomas's buy list, actually. Okay, this is what he's getting. He's getting Helldivers 2, Sons of the Forest, Death Stranding, and Red Dead Redemption. What do we think? What do we think in chat? Is this good? Bad? Should we do a poll? No. Honestly, I think it's pretty good. I haven't played Helldivers 2. I heard it's good. Yeah, solid choices. I heard Red Dead's got a lot of content. Sons of the Forest sounds like a fun game. I've seen content of it. And I don't personally like Death Stranding. It's a unique game, but I don't think it's my type of game. But it does look like it has a lot of content. So I did get bored of Death Stranding early, though, yeah. Got some meatballs to eat for dinner. Yeah, he does. He's got. Are you saying you have meatballs? Or are you talking about he's cooking with the list? I don't know. I'm lost in the sauce, which is another cooking reference. Fuck. How are we gonna do this? Yeah, I feel like they're solid choices. I'm assuming you have friends to play Helldivers with. Red Dead now. Other games are on sale. Gotcha. Yeah, there will be another sale. Oh wait. Red Dead now, other games are not on sales. I don't know what you meant, but time to code space travel and to find the Atos too. I can't wait. Yeah, I feel like they're solid choices, and I'm sure you got some friends to play some of those games with too. I think Sons of the Forest is multiplayer, but I don't know, because that's like a survival one with the cannibals on the island, right, or something like that. I think I have the right name of the game in my head. I say solid choices. Send it. Break in that new computer. Grind it out. So you're going to code space travel and find the Atos 2. What is that going to look like, dude? Actually, don't even tell me. Just you program it, and we're going to play it on stream when we get to it. I'm not going to be satisfied until every Ato has been collected. That is one of my new life's missions. Because otherwise I can't add it onto my resume, like Brent was suggesting. The teamwork and camaraderie we had to use to find all the Atos. It honestly is it's a skill. Multiplayer, just like the Forest one. Got it, okay. Well, it's not exactly space travel. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's Ato travel, I'm in, dude. If it leads me to another planet and there's more Atos on that planet to search, count me in. Yeah, I've been talking about the logistics with my buddy today a little bit about the doing a competition thing. I've been thinking more about that. I'll let you know more details when I get them solidified, but we will do that. So actually, we can keep talking. Send anything you want. I will respond to it. But my primary thing I'm going to be doing in the background while we talk is I'm going to be working on the sandcastles as well. But I think I can kind of multitask. They're pretty simple. Or maybe when purchasing isn't ownership, then piracy isn't theft. Or maybe when purchasing isn't ownership, then piracy isn't theft. I don't think piracy is theft necessarily if eventually, if you download a game that you wouldn't otherwise have played and then you like it and then you buy it, I don't see a problem with that. The Asiad. A new Addo. I'm also a fan of the Addo, so I'm looking forward to Space Addos, yeah. We're all Addo fans, Addo, so keep up the good work. We're going to have a bar brawl. Oh, yeah, and Fuzzy isn't here right now, but one day till Fuzzy's game drops. Actually, let me check that. I want to make sure I get the hour for it, because I want to play it on stream. So his game drops 14 hours. Dude, we gotta do that tomorrow. I'll time my stream somewhere around between that thing, so we can see how he did. Give it a shot. That'll be fun. Okay. Yeah, so we got that. Then obviously Brent said that he's gonna have the stuff done in this week, but by February for the bar brawl. So we're gonna have to all get Parsec, and then we can try that. And then whatever Thomas makes, whatever he cooks up, we're going to play that too. And then we got find the we got content for days. The stream just sustains itself at this point with just 3 developers. So I'm not sure what to do with the engineer Addo. I don't know. You said he'd be building something, but an engineer could also fix things that are broken. Maybe you need to use the engineer to fix the space travel. I don't know. 2 days till the presentation. I can't wait to hear how that goes, Thomas. We did like the presentation that you had. I'm excited to see it. I remember we were looking through the pictures. So, are you nervous about it? Are you excited? Are you worried that you about your presentation? You've had a whole week. Is it just you that has left to present? It's gonna be terrible, bro. You can't go in with that mindset. You got to go in with it's gonna be good. That you're gonna do this. Nervous so much. Yeah, that makes sense. Back in the day, I downloaded Hyper Light Drifter, one of my favorite games ever, but after realizing I loved it so much, I felt bad that I got it from some dodgy site. As soon as it was announced on Switch, I pre-ordered it straight away. Yeah, that's how I feel about games. Like, if a game is, like, really good, I'll just end up getting it. I don't really do piracy anymore, but when I was a kid, I didn't have an income. One of my dads had, like, a friend that would always give me, like, he would burn disc. He was in some, like, hacker forum or something, and they would, like crack these games, and he would just give me disc. That's how, like, I originally played, like, the Fallout games and stuff like that, and, like, a bunch of other weird first person shooters that hardly anyone talks about, like Darkest of Days. It was like a game where you, like, go through different periods of time, but you have, like, machine guns, and you have to, like, save or take out, like, specific individuals during, like, the Civil War. Like, you got a P90 and you're running around the Civil War. It was a really bizarre game. But I don't think you can get it on Steam anymore. I don't think it's anywhere. It's a weird game. So some games can only be pirated. So it's actually a good way to preserve history as well. So there's a lot of advantages to piracy, as well as advertising. If people like the stuff, they'll pay for it. Whatever. So an electrical circuit for the engineer. Yeah, I was also thinking an engineer of some sort of electrical thing. You are the last one. Well, all eyes on you, Thomas, but I think you got this. I believe in you. Yeah, we believe in you, Thomas. I believe in you, Thomas. I think you got this in the bag. Besides, everybody gets the break of having a nice, chill presentation before they got to get to the rest of their work. You should end the presentation with, okay, and that's it for class. We're done. That was the last presentation. We're out. Maybe the engineer Addo will be easy to get, but he have a quest to unlock space travel. That's good. That could be fun. Honestly, man, I can't wait to see all the Addos slowly talk one word per second. I'm excited. Any Addo quest lines, I'm ready. I'm not gonna click through them anymore. Nobody won't care. It'll be okay. It'll be good. Dude, I wouldn't worry about it. Don't worry about the thing. Don't worry about your presentation. Did you find any of the other presentations interesting? Sorry if I'm talking too fast. I gotta slow down. I'm too excited. Were any of the other presentations bad or good or terrible? I like the idea that the engineer Addo starts the space travel. Nice one. Yeah, I think that's a good idea too. So we have a castle. Talking like XQC. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going way too quick. I did like a thing with my buddy, and then I was like, well, my thought was, I was like, okay, I'm going to take more breaths in between my words, so we'll slow this out. Give me a second. So I had my friend come over, and we did our thing, our little secret podcast, and we talked, and I was like, okay, I tried to time it so that I would have time to eat between that. Then I was like, nah, forget it. I'll just fast. So I'm running on high dopamine right now. So it should make it easier to focus. Maybe. We'll see. Because I find that when I'm fasting, I can focus longer. We'll see how that turns out this stream. Maybe we can even use this as part of a test to see if I am incorrect or correct. I'm not going to base it on how much I get done, because I don't think I'm going to get a ton done. But I do think that I'll be able to have the focus when I need the focus. You can tell I'm trying to slow down. I think I'm succeeding. I might put in one of my hearing aids so that I can make sure I'm not mumbling. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Just in case, so I can hear myself a little bit better. Okay, yeah, we'll see if I can enunciate my words a little bit better. Enunciate? Enunciate. I think it's enunciate. Okay, sandcastle. What am I doing? Mounds. That's what we're doing. I sound fine. Awesome. Thank you. But now that I'm worried about how I sound and me talking about me being self-conscious about sounding, oh God. The engineer Addo. Dude, that's great. I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so I want to delete the mounds from each of the sandcastles. And then I had an idea yesterday that I didn't get to fully realize that we're going to realize today. Because it was a good idea. I think it's pretty funny. Secret pickpocketer Cody milky white skin tone. Oh my God. Dude, I am so close to affiliate. I gotta make an emote like that. I gotta do something like that. I'm gonna take a picture of this one too because this is hilarious. Secret pickpocketer. Yeah, I forgot about that, but I'm curious to see this. Yeah, I got a good idea. We'll make it work. And how did your stream go, Brent? Did you have, I noticed you have like 700 followers, dude. Did you use the stream or something? What's going on? Give me the backstory, bro. Why is my dude not why is he not streaming, dude? 800 followers, something like that? Dude's a whiz. Okay. All right. Now I got to think about this. I have the mounds and I have the sandcastles. So what we're going to try to do first is we're going to try to get the collisions correct. So yeah, cards for Steam, they're uploaded, and I sent off the thing. Let me check my inbox right now to see if they said anything. It said 2 to 5 days. They're going to check them, and then they're going to get back to me to see if they're good. And if there's no problems with them, then they'll be slated to release for the 25th. And then I have it so that you can buy the emoticons and the profile backgrounds from the Steam Point shop. And then obviously you can get the badges anyway. You do the badge thing for the Steam trading cards. So we're all good for trading cards. I just have to wait to see if they approve it. And if they do, I don't have an email for it yet. So this is day 3. So we'll see how that goes. But we should be in the clear. So, yep. Trading cards are definitely there. Back in the day, I used to stream Super Smash Bros. I guess I had game because people wanted to play me on stream and take me down. Most failed. Wahahaha. But I stopped playing, switched to coding, and no one wants to watch someone struggle with code for hours. Yeah, I feel that. I'm surprised you guys are here. What do you get out of this? You get to watch me struggle with code? You get to watch Cody code? Maybe that's what it is. I got the rhyming name, so... Brent and Code, it doesn't rhyme. That's your problem, Brent. You should change your name. No, dude, that's awesome. So you're a Smash player. I'm not that good at Smash, but I'm a Kirby main, so we recognize quality content. Well, thank you, Brent. I appreciate that. Sticking tongue out emoji. I see that. So, yeah, I got to do something weird, though. We're going to have a weird thing here going on. So I actually need to do each of these sprites have 5 frames, which is fine. What I have to do, though, is I have to make sure that the player can jump on them, because these are going to be solid. But I have to make sure that they're not the same kind of solid, because we don't want the sand we're throwing to, like, collide and stop it. Like, it shouldn't stop against the solid. So we gotta do something slightly different. And then I also have to have a collision for the player interacting with the sand mound. So they have to both be able to jump on it, and they have to be able to interact with it, but it needs a separate collision for that. So we have a couple of collisions we're gonna do here. So what do I want to do for the first collision? Right now we obviously have the collision mask of this, and it's like really tall. That makes no sense. I might do... Yeah, I might do the sand collision itself. Its own thing. I want the player to be able to do it this way. Hello, Cartoon Craze 98. Welcome to stream. How are you today? Tell us how your day's going too, if you'd like. So So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. Do I want the player to be able to interact with it a little bit higher? Maybe. So we're going to do that. I love Game Maker. Awesome. I'm glad you love Game Maker. Have you made any games in Game Maker? We've, in our stream, we have quite a bit of people that have games and different stuff. Addo has games in Scratch. Yeah, Brent has a game he's working on in Game Maker. He's one of us. It's a cult now. That's what we're building. It's a little cult. And then Thomas is a gamer. Likes Jump Off the Bridge. I see he's been going into Game Maker, though, too. Maybe we'll see a game from him eventually. And then Fuzzy, he's not here right now. He also has a game that's coming out tomorrow, which I'm pretty excited for. Game Maker Bros. That's our little corner here. We'll come up with a better name. It's tentative. It's not gonna stand. So just keep that in mind. I don't want any judgments about the name. I feel like that's good. Okay, so 531, 28, 47. You guys remember the numbers? 5, 31, 28, 27. Oh, dude, I'm off. 5, 31, 28, 47. I was actually really close. I just had to multiply that 2 by 2. Okay. So that's good. So then the player's going to be able to interact with the sandcastle. How do we want to do that? Oh, but then we need a separate... This do be confusing. No, we'll do it differently. Okay. I'm changing my mind. Watch me change it. Okay, so the sandcastle, for this collision box, we're not going to do this. We're going to do automatic and precise per frame. Because then when the ball of sand collides with the sandcastle, it'll always be based on how big the sandcastle is. Because that's probably what I want to prioritize for the animation. Okay. Now, we need to come up with a hitbox for... And I'm probably doing this in a jank way. Yeah, I think that's a good idea too. Yeah. I might be doing this slightly jankily, but we're going to do solid. Have you heard about the Mario Kart fan games? I have not. Is there like a big group of people that do Mario Kart fan games? That's interesting. And then I kind of want to base it off of... If I base it off the mounds, it's going to be the same. They're both the same height, but the mounds are... Well, maybe I need to have 2 separate collisions for each. I saw a Halo version of it. It actually made me laugh out loud. Mario Kart with assault rifles? Dude, that sounds amazing. What are you guys even talking about, dude? That sounds great. It might be better for these to be one sprite. Because then I can just instantiate it by 1 each time. And then I'll have a solid... Yeah, that's what I gotta do. Okay, sorry. We gotta undo our progress. Game Maker is about making mistakes and coming back and fixing them. Okay, this needs to be here. This one's second from the last. Here, we're gonna do this again. So just sandcastles, right? And then, it's gotta go here. And then this has to be the precise collision per frame. Let's do that. Okay. So that way, whenever you throw sand, it'll like collide with it or not, based on what it's in. Which I might be able to use odd or even numbers for that, although that's slightly confusing. This is here. There's this. This. Okay. So the idea is that you're going to have to... I think what I'm going to do is you're going to build the castle and then have to add sand to it. And that gets easier because the hitbox gets bigger as it grows from a sandcastle spire. Okay. Yeah, feel free to share the Mario Kart fan games thing, because I have not seen any of those. Do you make any of them? Cartoon Craze 98? Would love to see them. Send us your work. We'll give you nothing but compliments. Not yet. Okay, so is that something you're interested in doing? I imagine they're like kind of 3D like Mario Kart is, right? I know that's more difficult to do in Game Maker, but it's still possible. Sandcastle solid. Sandcastle collision. I like solid better. And then we need a... how do I want to do this? No, don't delete it. SPR Sandcastle. And this is going to be like player collision. It's kind of a long name, but we're not going to use it. I'm waiting for a reply from Super Blinky on a DM. Okay, I don't know who Super Blinky is, but sounds like a plan. You can tell him to get his ass in here, because the more the merrier, okay? He's Spanish. Ah, okay. I can't speak Spanish, but hopefully he'd understand my sentiment. The one I saw had 2 people per cart, and then you get blasted by a rocket, you fall off the cart, you have to run back and continue the race. It was a very amusing clip, actually. That sounds interesting. I've never seen 2 people per cart. That could be pretty fun. Actually, that was probably one of my favorite things. One of my cousins and I, we went to Disney a long time ago, and there was this game. I don't know if they still have it, because there was this big building that was all an arcade. It had like a bunch of arcade machines. It had like really terrible old Disney, like Aladdin 3D headsets where you're supposed to like go through on the carpet and like fly through space, but they're so old that it was just like an old ride. That it was like really bad early generation 3D, terrible. But one of the games they had in the building, which I think they tore down because it was called like Disney Quest or something, super fun. It was like a Buzz Lightyear themed game, but there was 2 people per cart, and it was kind of like a bumper car sort of thing. But one person had like a gun that they managed, which is kind of like this concept. And then the other person drove the cart. But like both people could help load the gun, and you had to like load the gun. So you get like random balls that would just fly in, or you could pick up balls from, I think it was outside your cart. And we just kept grabbing balls. You had to eliminate people by shooting them. Oh, so good. I'm going to make you mine for the materials to fix it. That's a good idea. I was wondering how much you wanted to use the item inventory for your Addo game. But I think that, yeah, using the inventory more would make it more interesting. You could even make an Addo that eats things out of your inventory, so you gotta go get them again. If you really want to do something terrible. But yeah, that Disney Quest game, that was so much fun. My cousin and I have played a lot of games together, so both native gamers. Yeah, so we have a player collision in this, and the player collision is going to be basically just bigger than the castle thing, I think. Yeah. So far, every Addo game I saw had a pickaxe item. That's also true. He yearns for the mines, Brent. He yearns for the mines. The children, they yearn for the mines. I got a question. How do I calculate positions like in Mario Kart 64 in Game Maker? That is a difficult question to answer. Actually, if I was to say anything, I would say go to ChatGPT, type in your thing, and then send it. I am Addo. He is Addo. I would ask that to ChatGPT, be like, hey, I'm trying to make a Mario Kart game for Game Maker, and I have a question about like how to calculate positions, and then it'll probably ask you something like about those positions and what you're trying to get, basically, and then you can go from there. That's what I would probably do. Because that's kind of what I did for my level editor code, is I was like, okay, I don't know how to store the objects, and so it gave me a description of that. As a child, I always yearned for the mines, but I never got to mine until today. To actually mine until today. Finally, Addo can mine. I think the collision is fine if it's on the ground. How much RAM do I have? I think I have 32 gigabytes. I only have so much because I used to use the Adobe Suite for stuff, so the Adobe Suite was kind of taxing. Now, how am I going to turn off the thing for the sandcastle so you're not picking up sand? I suppose I could do a begin step variable. That's what we're going to have to do. It'll have to be in the begin step. Sorry, I'm just thinking a little bit ahead while I do this, because this is going to be collision for the player to engage with the mound. So they need to be able to lock in. Do you think you need it? No, not for what I'm doing right now. If I was going to use more Adobe programs, and I mean, I eventually am going to do more video editing, so yeah, I do need it for that. I want to do more 3D work. That's down the line. I took a 3D class when I was in college that I really enjoyed, and I was pretty good at it. So I will do some 3D animations or something eventually. But as of right now, no, I'm not really using the RAM. Maybe for Elden Ring. That's about the only thing I could think that you would need that RAM for. All right, I think it's probably smartest to take our pretty much like widest sprite, and then I noticed there's like a graphical glitch where it shows the different sprites on top of each other. I wonder if that's intentional. This is our widest sprite. I just want to crop it to, because I have the, yeah, I'm going to crop it to this. And then we're going to make it invisible because we don't really need it. It's just going to be a box. Actually, we can make, no, forget it. It'll be an invisible box. It's going to spawn at the same location as the sand, and that'll be the player collision. And then we need a collision for the actual solid, which has to be a square that is specific to each one of these. So we're going to define how like high essentially the player can stand on these. Doesn't matter what color we use, but I like to use full red. I don't know if I should buy more RAM or more games. You could split it down the middle. You could buy a game that you think is graphically intensive, and then if you feel like you need to spend money on, you know, more RAM, you can get that after. I think I want them to be able to stand here. Difficult life. It is a difficult life. We actually do have the ability for players to like walk up pixels and stuff, so they don't have to be perfect squares. They can be, you know, odd. Like I could do a dip in here. So that since we're doing a precise per frame anyways, I'd rather get a wider swath of the actual sprite. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do probably like this for the collision. And this one we can do like this. It doesn't have to be the full width. Just enough so that they can stand on it. And then once we test it, if we need to change that later, we can change it. I want this. I don't want any problems with this, so maybe I'll just continue that there. So there. The reason I'm leaving like a pixel or two on top is to get like a more smooth form, and also so that it kind of gives the illusion, I think these are above the player frame, so it'll look a little bit like his feet are in the sand is what I'm kind of aiming for. Will he be able to jump on the castle at its max height from the ground? I think so. I can test it in a second though. It's a good question, Brent. I think he will be able to. Because the player can jump, because how tall is this? This is 48. The player can definitely jump more than 2 blocks, 16 by 16, so that's 32. I think he does it a little bit higher than that. But it's not, he doesn't get fully to 3, but he can get pretty close. So I think it'll be fine. If I do have any trouble with it, I can just add some of these little edges here, and he should be able to get up it just fine. Good note, though. Just kind of keep this more smooth. Okay, and then do I want to do this weird? I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a problem if I do that, like weird like that. I'll just do this. Let's see if I can replicate it for this side too. Okay. pretty content with that. And then here, and then we got, obviously the easiest one last is like pretty much a box, so I don't particularly have to worry about that. Pretty good. As per Brent's suggestion, I might do that there. As a failsafe, you can probably say if he's colliding with the castle, but he's not on top, he automatically snaps to the B-box top position, just in his emergency backup. Yeah, I have a lot of collision code. I don't think it'll be a problem, but that is a good idea. The only thing I would be averse to doing that is that can look obviously jerky, depending on what, but I think he can get to it. We will try. I'll program the building the sandcastle first, and then I'll just go in and we can test it. So first, let's do this precise per frame. Okay, and then we can, yeah, we'll program that first. So what we're going to do is the sandcastle on its creation is going to have a solid. Well, it's going to have a, I hate how that word is green. I always used to name things solids, and then they changed it and made like solid like a word, a keyword, and it always throws me off reading it. I almost want to call it like a rock box, but I don't know if I would remember it to be the rock box. Yeah, dude, I don't know why they did it. I also used to use, there was another one too. It was Parent. I used to use Parent, but then they made like, I think it was Parent. Maybe it's Child. I don't know. It was one of those. And then I had to go to the master slave thing because of that. Bounding box, maybe? Yeah, I think that was one of them. I don't remember. But, yeah, I hate that solid is one of them. So I guess we'll use... oh, my God. I'll just use collision box. And then we'll have player collision box. Yeah, throw, delete. Yeah, and then they became keywords. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the enums. Okay, gotcha. That's really strange. I don't know why they made that decision. So player collision. I'm going to call this box. We'll do the player collision box after. But we got to do the collision box first. So that's going to be pretty simple. Instance, create layer. It's going to be the same X and Y. The layer can be just invisible because you're not even going to see it. And then the object is actually just going to be, we're going to make it the 16 by 16 object, and we're going to change the sprite because it has no code in it. So other than that it's a child of my parent solid. So, and then we're going to do collision box dot sprite. Yeah, sprite index equals, and then it's going to equal our thing, which I believe was a lengthy name. So SPR sandcastle solid. Okay. And then we also need to make sure that it isn't going through the animation automatically. So collision.image speed equals 0. And then we got to make sure that this updates based on our actual changing. So we're going to do if instance exists, make sure our, oh God, I already forgot what it was. Collision box. Our collision box, if that object exists, if that instance exists, then we need it to update its image index to equal our image index, because we're going to be increasing our image index over time. And so that'll make sure that the solid is equal to that. That should be good for now. We can also make it so that the collision box dot x equals rx and collision box dot y equals ry. There isn't technically a way to move this thing within the scope of the game, but in case I, for some reason, add sandcastles to the level editor, I noticed that like I've had some objects where like when I go to select them and move them, they have these objects that are still there. So I want to make sure that I'm not totally trying to think ahead for that, but I am a little bit. Just slightly. Mining is finished. I can't wait. Yeah, we'll have to pick a day. Maybe I'll do it like sometime next week or something, depending on how much you add Addo, where we come back and play the game together to see what you added. We can see your update. When you're confident that you have content that you want us to look at, we'll pick a day and we'll come back to it. Because I saw that spider Addo and I'm like, I can't wait to catch that spider and add it to my collection of Addos that are going on my resume. Could you imagine just walking into a place and then looking at your like related job history and you just have pictures of all the Addos on there? They're like, what is this? It's like, this is my collection. This is my Dex. Spider Addo's not there yet, okay? When you're ready, we'll come back. The guy's like, what are these? It's like, what does it look like they are? I did this together with a community of people. Alright, so for the player collision box, we're going to do something similar, except we actually have to make a thing for the player. Okay, so actually, yeah, these are going to be in phases. So I think what I'm going to do for phase 0 is just going to be, I want to use the word untouched. Maybe something like that. I'm a great collector of Addo, and I stand proud. Proud amongst all of the Addos. So we have just kind of a unengaged. I think that's probably a better way to call it. Unengaged state. And here, I'll actually put these at the top. Unengaged. 1, and then we're going to have an engaged state. I think that's all we need. Pokemon will have nothing against the Addos once they're released into the wild. Yeah, dude. So right now we have Find the Addo, right? A game where you just have to find them and you just scroll through like the static screens. Imagine he puts another game genre on top of that. It doesn't have to be RPG, but it could be anything. Could you imagine? Actually, kind of funny. I bought a game a while ago that actually is similar to Addo's thing, I think. I haven't played it. It's called like Slime something. Yeah, somebody made a game called Slime Catcher. I think it has like no reviews. Yeah, it came out a year ago. And it literally just looks like a game where you walk around collecting slimes. And I was like, that looks great. I am definitely going to play this on stream at some point. I don't even remember how I found it. 99 cents. I was like, I cannot wait to just casually run around and catch slimes. That's kind of what I picture, like, if you were to add more game elements to Addo's thing. That's what it would look like, is something like this. Where you have, like, a physical player that has health. Yeah, the Addo FPS. Dude. I guess Slime Rancher is kind of like that, too, now that I think about it. So when they're engaged... Oh, and then... I guess this is going to be / building phase. That's kind of what I'm thinking of. That's got to be what it is. Okay. Yeah, we'll deal with this in a bit. So we got to do the player collision next. So obj sand castle player collision. Another mouthful. Okay, and then this is going to have sandcastle player collision. Basically just an invisible box. And then for sandcastle, we got to create this object. Same thing, XY, invisibles. And it's going to be the obj sandcastle collision. Okay. And then this thing needs to have... It doesn't matter what the sprite index of it is. What it does matter is it needs to know that I'm the master. That's what it needs to know. It needs to know that. Essentially, it needs to know the ID. It doesn't need... I mean, it's going to give the ID regardless, but it needs to have the ID. And so let's make that true here. Because it needs to reference back to the sandcastle when things are happening. No one. And maybe this needs faces. If I can spell the word face. Equals 0. Okay. My hands, they don't work. Okay, so this is also going to have some sort of unengaged Yeah, and then also, before I forget about it, for the cleanup step, if either of those are existing, they need to be destroyed. So collision box. Destroy. Because the wave is going to wash them away anyways. Oh, sorry, I got to do with. Okay. And then we gotta do the other one for the player collision box. Okay. Okay. It just cleans up everything. Alright, and maybe we don't even need this to really do anything. Maybe it's all gonna be in the player collision code. Alright, so then what we need to do is we need to have grab, throw, jump. Those are what we need to have. I think those are the only three things we need. Grab, throw, jump. Sounds about right. Okay, so I always poach these from the player. So we're going to do that to start. I have kind of like a complicated... I mean, I've been working on this for 5 years now, so a lot of this code is really old. So we're not going to talk about it, is what I'm saying, basically. So we got to do this differently. Can I open this? Okay. I was like, please tell me this still exists. So what I have here is I have, if the controller global is on, it uses the controller things. Otherwise, it uses the keyboard. So let's just steal this chunk, okay, to start with. We'll go back to this. Look at my code from 3 years because I cringe, yeah. And the problem is like my players, I got some really old code that I'm like, oh goodness, I don't want to go in and fix any of that. But it like works just barely. So it's kind of just like I think people have talked about this before. I forget the name for it, but it's this idea that like the more you code a project, the like more spaghetti it eventually gets. Like there is a terminal point. And I know there's a terminal point for Jump Off the Bridge as well, because since I add so many different variant sprites for everything, like there's a point where the project just, it's going to take too long to load. It's going to be unfun to work on, sort of thing. So we'll just see what I can get done before I get to that point. And then I might have to break the project into pieces, or yeah, it'll be a jump of spaghetti. Yeah, that's the sequel game, Jump of Spaghetti. Yeah, they've become spaghetti. Yeah, I'll go on stream one time and I'll show you my old projects. I'll prepare them because I have some other projects that had like scope creep that I worked too much on and things like that, and just had like big ideas. I mean, obviously I've suffered from that too with the perfectionism thing for Jump Off the Bridge because it's been 2 years since an update. But I feel like I'm able to conquer that better now than I was back then. I have a different mind space. So, all right, and then we need movement. I'm gonna just take the whole chunk. I know it's gonna look really ugly to start, but I need to make sure I get these variables correct. Okay, so we're gonna trim this down, and then we're gonna make sure it works, and then we're gonna test it, and then we're gonna go from there. I think that's how we're gonna do it, and then I'll be able to get to my idea, my fun little visual idea that I had an idea for. Okay, so what do we need? We need pressed. We don't need check. That is an old confusing piece of code that I should have changed years ago. We need throw. We don't need these. Don't need up. Okay, we just need pick up. Yeah. Okay. Don't need INV. Okay, so I know I'm going to have to, before I release my game, test the gamepad, because I'm sure I'm going to have some gamepad problem. We will see. All right, pressed. Yeah, so this is backwards. But anyways, all we need is jump press. I don't know what my thought was. I should have done jump pressing, as in for the keyboard check, and then jump pressed, or press for the single press. But I have pressed ED, and then I have press. I don't know what I was thinking, dude. That's terrible. Every time I look at that, I'm like, I need to change this. This is driving me crazy. Okay. And then we don't need D-pad move. I named mine press and held. Oh, that's a good idea, dude. That is even better. Bro, what the... I gotta write that down. Actually, let's put it in the player code. If I get the gumption to go back and do that, I'm doing that. Press. What? Press and held? Pressed and held. Okay, that's good. Pressed and held. I do like pressing too, though. I don't know. We'll see. Something. That needs to change. Needs to change, and let's put the date in here so future Cody can deal with that problem. Once you fix the machine, it stays persistent. That's a good idea. Yeah, you don't want to keep having to fix the machine every time. Yeah, you hope it out. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Old Cody 5 years ago was not a programmer. And actually, that's really funny because when I look at my... one of my oldest Steam reviews for my game is from a guy named Braden. I had noticed it was in our community of like people we were talking with that he was like on every review. This guy would review like every game and he had like an in-depth review. And so when I made my game, I sent him my game. I was like, I want you to review this. I want your review on my game. And so he did it and he had a whole conversation with me while he was playing the game. And then he uploaded the conversation to like a GitHub so people could read it and stuff like that, which was pretty funny. And then if you go back and read those chat messages, there's parts where like he's like, oh, he's gonna add like a saving system because the game didn't have saving to start, and a lot of people were like complaining about that. I got emails from China that were like, your game needs to add archiving, and I was like, okay, so they want saving, got it. And then in those old messages, there was a message that I had sent where he was like, oh, he's gonna add saving, and I was like, yeah, as soon as I figure out saving, I'm gonna add saving. So like even back then I had no fucking idea what I was doing. I did not know how to program at all. I was like barely in Game Maker. It was so funny, dude. I was like, I look back on those messages. I was like, yeah, Cody back then did not know how to program. He did not know what he was, what eventually we'd get to, but it's funny to think about. Okay. So then we pretty much get rid of everything except for jump press, right? Okay. Easy. Okay, and then we got to combine these together. So we need this up here. And then we need this. Controller on equals false. Okay. This up here. Okay. Good. So the reason we want these variables is because that's how we're going to engage with the sandcastle. Because I have code that we can turn on and off player stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. So we have the unengaged phase, which can equal 0. And then I have the if phase equals 1. That's going to be the engaged phase. Okay. And then speaking of engagement, saving is hard to wrap your head around as a new programmer. The way I've done it in my games is definitely not ideal. Yeah, I don't think mine is ideal either. I think ultimately, I don't know. From my perspective, I have it so that like theoretically if you found the files you could just edit them. They're pretty straightforward to read, which is also something I was thinking about for the level editor, because technically the way the levels save out is it's just like the name of the object and then the like X and Y stuff. So theoretically, let's say you're a viewer and you watch my stream, right? And let's say that this is a weird thing, but let's say you're making a level and there's an object you want in the level, but I don't have it in the level editor. Like let's say it's not in the list of scrolling in here. Theoretically, you could just edit the text file as long as you knew the name of the object from my stream, add the object in at the X and Y location, and it would load the level and create the object, assuming that there is no dependency issue or that it's programmed like good enough from me to like work. It would theoretically work. So that's something I was thinking about. I was like, oh, this is kind of funny, but I don't know. Like, do I have to encrypt these files? Should I worry about that? I don't know. I think it might just be funnier if people were to do stuff like that anyways. So I'm just going to leave it as is for now. I also, another mantra is the keep it simple sort of thing. Keep it simple, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. I don't like the stupid thing because it's just like, why are you condescending to me? So I like keep it simple, silly. Keep it simple, silly. That's better to me. It sounds less derogatory and demeaning. It's like, why are you giving me advice and then you're calling me stupid, dude? What the hell is up with that? That doesn't make any sense. Dude, actually, it's really funny. Yeah, my buddy too. I went, one of my other streams I did, I have this rant because I was playing this game. It was, I don't know, some Vampire Survivors clone game. I can't even remember it. It was fine. It was called Halls of Torment, actually. But I was playing this game and I was annoyed about something in the game. But then somebody during my stream had said, like, oh, they're going monk mode. And I was like, dude, like, linguistically, this is really funny to me. And it's not like a pet peeve, but it's kind of a pet peeve or whatever. But the idea of going monk mode, okay, so hear me out. We'll reiterate the argument. Monks don't really have, like, the whole purpose, from my understanding, is to, like, give up things, right? Like, you don't want, like, a monk is like somebody, like a mendicant monk is somebody that, like, travels. They go from, like, church to church. They, like, get food, sort of thing. They help people, whatever. They're like a monk. They've given up their worldly possessions. They've cut off their hair. They don't worry about the vanity. They're focused on the present moment of whatever their life entails, and, like, meditation and things like that. The idea of, like, going monk mode to, like, grind your, like, drop shipping business is the dumbest ironic statement I've ever heard in my life. Like, the idea of using the, like, the concept of going monk, like, I'm gonna go monk mode and I'm gonna drop ship a bunch of product. Like, I'm sure you've heard that, like, the grind set mindset thing of, like, these people that are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go monk mode, dude, these next couple months gotta work on my small business. It's like, that's kind of antithetical to monk mode, to be frank. It doesn't make sense to me. There's, like, an illogical error there. Guess what the space gate is going to be powered by? Difficulty impossible. Are you saying that? So wait, are you saying, Addo, guess, you want me to guess what it's going to be powered by, but the difficulty of the question is impossible, or is it going to be? I'm actually slightly confused. That's okay. I will start saying this way now. Awesome. I love drop shipping. Get money, get money quick. Yerp. Yeah, Drew. That's exactly what I was thinking about. I love drop shipping. No, I just want you to guess. Okay, got it. I wasn't sure if, like, an Addo was the answer. Is it going to be powered by? Is that different? I'm sure you won't get it. That's what I meant. Okay, that's what I thought you meant. I had to read it a couple ways because I was thinking about, you have those different difficulties for Addos, and I was like, I thought you were saying it was going to be powered by a difficulty impossible Addo or something like that. So that was my misread. What is it going to be powered by? If I was a spaceship and Addo was making a game about powering a spaceship, I hope it's powered by fish, honestly. I hope you get more out of that fishing mini game and we have to just drag a bunch of fish to fill up the fuel. So we got to keep doing that. Oh my God. That would be actually amazing. I don't know what it is. You can keep it a secret if you want, but that was my guess. The fish. Because you want to use that fishing mini game again. Get more worth out of it. That would be great, but no, yeah. It reminds me of a meme where the spy takes off his fake mustache and there's another mustache underneath, as in saying you're going monk mode, but you're not really fooling anyone. Yeah, exactly. I'm going monk mode. Same face every single time. There's something so antithetical about, you know, somebody focusing on a capitalistic gain, but saying that they're going monk mode, something entirely, like, uncapitalistic, like, you know. It's actually powered by mustard crystals. I can't wait to mine mustard crystals, bro. I'm very engaged in the Addo lore. I cannot wait. We're a part of something grander. Okay, so we have unengaged and engaged. Speaking of unengaged, no. We got to get engaged again. So we got to do a if place meeting X, Y, shape player. So if we're meeting the player, and then we got to do, is it better to, this is probably min-maxing, but maybe we should do if, nah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. And, well, it's better to do it this way. So if we're colliding, then we got to do if pickup pressed. Then we're going to go to phase 2. Or phase 1, which is engaged. And then in the engage mode, we need to make sure some things are happening. So first, I suppose we should also check if the player exists. I do this so that, you know, if I do also put the stuff in the level editor where the player doesn't exist in that context, that it won't throw me an error later and just crash the game. I'm trying to avoid the crashes. I'm fine with, you know, bugs, but I don't like, you know. Should I bring Cheese Addo back? Yeah, I think you should bring all the Addos back, dude. Every Addo. Or any new Addos you think of. Like I said, my favorite was that Raindrop Addo because I almost barely didn't see it and I thought it was hilarious. It was killing me later, dude. I was like, can you imagine looking for all these Addos and it's just this tiny raindrop with 2 eyes on it? Okay, so then we got to do jplayer dot. So we're turning off the animations for the player because we're going to circumvent it with our own animation. And then we also have objplayer dot no scr move. Because we're going to prevent that. You can have an Addo Civil War. Yeah, we could build lore, dude. You could build lore. There could be Addos that fight against other Addos. That's kind of funny to imagine, like you as a person going into the world of Addos. And you're like, oh man, I need to collect all the Addos. And you just see them killing each other. And you're just like, oh, click on Addo. Awesome. And then keep going. Like you just ignore their conflict entirely. You're just like a third party there taking pictures. So yeah, no SCR move. Now for the player, I have different preventions of movement. Because I have... So no SCR move turns off the gravity and everything. We actually probably want no input allowed so that they can't move from that position. So let's do that instead. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to make sure that the gravity script still runs because the wave is going to be able to push you back. If I had no SCR move, I'm not sure the player would actually resolve and move based on that. But we don't need the animation. Oh, it doesn't matter if we put it on. And then we got to do if throw is pressed. Yeah. Or jump is pressed. Jump press. Let's do that. I like that format better. Then this is the disengage. So we gotta do the same thing here with the player. And then we gotta do disengage basically. So we're gonna go back to phase 0. And then for the player, we're gonna turn these off so that they're able to move again. Okay, but the only difference here is that if the player is, yeah, how do we want to do this? Because I'm gonna do a funky animation in here is what I'm trying to do eventually. So that's what I'm thinking of too. So then this is disengage. Engage. You can also do if the wave hits you, you disengage too. The quest is done. Amazing. You're a fast worker, Addo. No wonder you have 2,400 games under your belt. I think I know what I want to do. I can't wait. And then, so we're going to do build. And maybe we should do we'll just do a number. Build requirement. We're going to do 10 for now. Hello, Heather. How are you doing? Oh, and Bruno here as well. Welcome. How are you guys doing? Album when? I don't know. I can do it soon, though. I'll record something for you guys. You guys are going to be content if I put a video out of it, right? One important Addo will probably be the old design Addo. Yeah, that's a good idea, too. Make them wise and elderly. How are you guys today? How was your day? Your stream last night was great. I wasn't trying to complain too much about the audio issues, but it was actually easier to hear Heather when she was talking in the mic because her voice was lighter, and I could still hear Tyler because he's just generally louder. So it was pretty funny. Team Bruno and Heather, hello. Yeah, team streamers, dude. You guys gotta get dual mics. We can hear both of you. I guess it works better with Tyler's mic stand because it's just on the desk. So Add lore to him, like how he was forgotten, how he seeks revenge, and then there's a whole boss fight. That's amazing. I didn't even think about a boss fight, but that sounds great. No, I appreciate the input on streams. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, the stream was funny. I actually spent a lot of time looking for a Dragon Age Origins mod that let you put all dogs in the party, and I was disappointed to find that there was, in fact, no mod for that. There was a mod that expands the passive skill tree for the dog, and there was one that allows it to add items to it, but okay. Mutant Addos and a boss. Dude, I can't wait for any Addos. All Addos I'm ready for, dude. It's like a Pokemon collect-a-thon thing. I cannot wait. That was awesome, guys. Yeah, the Dragon Age stuff was like... Yeah, I was going to say, can you commission somebody to make a Dragon Age Origins mod? It's kind of an old game. I feel somebody could make it. I just want everything to be a dog, and then I want you to be able to equip weapons and armor to the dog, and I want the weapons to just default to the paw. So that even if it's like, it doesn't work, I'm fine. I don't care. I just want it to be on the paw. I think that would be hilarious. That's it. Easy mod. All dogs, equipped items, and then terrible. Wheel. Oh, did I say something wrong? We will make them. Oh, yeah, we will. Got it. Drew's, I get it. He's being smarmy. Kind of surprised there isn't. Figured Dragon Age had a cult following. Yeah, but not a cult following for dogs, bro. They have a mod that turns a dog into like a different creature, I guess, but it was kind of weird. Yeah, we will, as in you and Drew. Yeah. No, dude, Tyler, it's time for you to go back to programming your $20 game. I think that's how you were going to raise money for stream, okay? Pretty sure you said that at some point, that your game is going to be $20. When are you getting back to it, buddy? Pretty sure soon. Also, I tried to time my stream so that I was doing this and then your stream would happen after. So, all right, I kept that in mind. Because I know you usually do it at like 6. But if you're here now, sounds like you're... Guess you're stuck with me, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Need to go back to coding. Variety is too expensive. You had to buy all the games. That's actually really funny. I didn't think about that. Dragon. Yeah, a Drado. Dude. Addo's figuring this out. Appreciate you, brother. Missing your face. Is that to me or is that to Drew? I appreciate you too. It's okay. We're going to see each other in like a week, right? A month? We got side gig to do. Dude, Fuzzy's here as well. Not Drew. I was going to say, Drew's actually in a different state. Obviously, we all miss Drew. What the fuck? I can't wait for our walk. He comes on the 23rd. I'm excited. How you doing, Fuzzy? Your game drops in 14 hours. Actually, 13 now since I've been streaming. I'm counting. I cannot wait. I loved your progress on that game you're making. All the Avengers are here. It's true. Everyone is here. Miss him too. Food tastes better with him. It's true. Food does taste better with him. I also wish, Broderham would face his fears and play Amanda too. Look at the Discord. Sure, dude. We're distracted anyway, so let's send it. What do we got? Look at the Discord. Where am I looking? Oh, dude. Hype. Good slide. It looks like a great slide, dude. I love it. There's one game that stands out to me more than the other ones, but it's a good... No. It's great, dude. I love it. Good slide. I can't wait. I want you to record the thing, even if I won't understand what you're saying if you do it in Czech, but it would be awesome. I'm good. Think of ways to make the new game more fun. Okay, interesting. Well, if you need any help, we have a whole community of people. So, everyone here is an ideas man. And woman. Heather, I see you there. My favorite game, that's what it says. Oh, awesome. Even better. My favorite games. I forgot you were Slovak, Addo. You can read it all. We'll have you guys both translate Thomas's thing for us. I actually do want to... I might have to pay somebody at some point to translate some of the Czech and Slovak streamers' streams of like what they said about Jump Off the Bridge, because I want to tease them a little bit based on the things they've said. I want to make like some parody levels or something. Same thing for the Spanish community. I know Juja played my game, and he's like a big Spanish thing. I've watched his reactions. He's hilarious, but I cannot tell what he's saying, so I need to pay somebody to subtitle that for me. Real. Thomas speaks in MC runes. Yeah, Minecraft runes, dude. They got the Minecraft rooms over in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Is it called Slovakia, or is it just Slovak Republic too? I think Slovakia. MC Enchants. Terraria. Yeah. All of them. All the best games. Yeah, your Terraria house is coming together pretty cool too, Thomas. Drew and I played a Cataclysm mod a while back, and oh my god, that was the hardest thing I've ever done, dude. I don't think I've played a harder game. It was terrifying, and the inventory management system we had was terrible. It was the worst thing ever. I don't know who programmed it. Absolutely awful. Okay, so if pickup is pressed, and then if build requirement, yeah, is greater than 0, we're just gonna reduce it by 1 for now, and then we're gonna go from there. Else, then we need to tell our master, which is going to be the sandcastle. My spelling today is not good. Actually, it's kind of funny. Sam, I don't know if you're here, but we were talking about how Sam's writing a book, and he said he was struggling with language, and then the thought that came in my head was, well, I am the average of the 5 people I hang out with most, and I was like, oh, it's Sam's bad spelling that's rubbing off on me. I can blame him. Now I need to code the actual machine now. I believe in you. Sounds easy. Sounds unintimidating. Where fear is, that's your task. Go now, forth, Addo. And create the shrine of other Addos. What am I looking for? Oh, master. If master exists, then we're going to change it. I think that's it. Yeah. Master dot image index equal, well, plus plus. No. Yeah, I guess plus plus. Yeah, I guess we have to assume that there is a building requirement. Yeah, how do we want to do that? Let's do, this is a little finicky, but I want to test it first, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do if instance exists master. When I code it, I'm going to make the whole cipher for it to travel. You love your ciphers. I'm excited. The whole cipher for it to travel. So if you're meeting this, actually we should probably do if master unrefined. That's what I'm going to use. Equals true. Should I use unrefined or unmolded? I like unmolded better. I'm thinking of some symbolism here. Unmolded. If unmolded equals true, it's going to be original. Well, at least aimed. I believe in you. Unmolded. Okay, so then for this, what we're going to do is the sandcastle is going to have a variable. I have to buy League skins out of my game. Dude, I was wondering, are you going to play League today? Is that what your plan is? Because you were talking about it on stream yesterday, so I wasn't sure. So the sandcastle itself is going to be the unmolded one. Unmolded equals true. Philosophical naming conventions. Nice. How does the sandcastle feel about this? That's a great question, Brent. Chat banned me from League. It's over. Yeah, dude. They're like, we're not going to show up. We're going to talk about everything unrelevant to you. It's because you ignored them, dude. That's what it was. How does the sandcastle feel about being called unmolded? I guess it depends if I mean a negative connotation, because semantically, unmolded may just be as is, unmolded, and not with the negative connotation of unrefinement. But I did use the word unrefinement, preclusionary before this. So maybe that, there's a lot to think about. Oof, that sucks, buddy. Did you play a lot of League? Actually, Tyler was so when he was streaming, he was like he wanted to get good at one particular thing, what he was talking about, and I think that's why he moved over to League because he was having fun with it, and he wanted to get really good at League and then stream that. But his community, who was used to a variety of random stuff, a smorgasbord of things, didn't. But don't let me put words in your mouth, Tyler. You can speak for yourself. That's what I thought he was talking about originally. Kind of, sort of. Did for a bit. Yeah. Okay, you can talk more than that. No, I'm just hazing you. It's fine. Come on, man. Tell us how you really feel. Your community's not here. No one's watching. Yeah, Brett was saying earlier in the stream that he used to be a Smash streamer. And that's how he got his 700 followers. Is from just playing people in Smash. That's amazing. Actually, I kind of want to see Tyler and you play Rivals of Ether or something. That would be pretty funny, actually. When you were playing the Rivals of Ether stuff, Tyler, that was pretty enjoyable because there were some pretty close matches and stuff, and it was really entertaining. I think League is just too slow paced for people that aren't engaged with League generally. We're using our keyword here. So we have an unbolded state. Let's continue from that point. So how do I want to do this? Maybe if unmolded equals true. If unmolded equals false, actually, is when we want the ball of sand to stack. Yeah, so I was talking about growing in Twitch, and everyone said, well, I don't know any big streamer that hasn't grown from one game. So I picked League because it's fun, and everyone hated it, besides the one guy who plays it himself. Everyone hated Rivals too. I legit can't win. The community is too strong, dude. Community is too strong. Used to play League years ago, but surprisingly, I still enjoy spectating games. I think it's a game that you can really get into and enjoy as a spectator, supporting the player you're viewing. Yeah, that makes sense. It's nuts. I got to be consistent with SCED and game, Brent. SCED. Second? I don't know what word you were trying to imply there. I got to be consistent and stick with a game. Maybe that's what you said. Oh, schedule. Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, that was my bad. You were probably trying to use a short version of that. I didn't even think about it. Okay, so the machine would be persistent but not on location because that would be too hard unoptimized to make. Okay. Sounds like Addo's making progress, dude. It's fun spectating someone that's good or entertaining. If Drew could emphasize a word there, it would be emphasis on the good there, I think. I actually really enjoyed you playing with Drew, Tyler, when you were doing that. I thought that was really funny. Make your own game and stream it. It seems like no one would complain. True. Sam with the deets? Dude, we really do have the Avengers here today. All the Avengers. Yeah, Sam, I want you to stream your book writing. I know that might sound like a meme, but you should really do that. That would be really funny. You don't have to engage with anyone while you're doing it. I want to be able to, pop in and watch you write your book. I think that would be hilarious. Or program that robot arm, dude. I want to see that. You could start careers, bro. I like playing with Josh because he's handsome. Okay, that makes sense. It's almost like you're implying Drew isn't handsome. Are you starting drama in my chat, Bronoham? Tyler? Huh? Is that what's going on here? Is this just a ground for you to throw everything? Yeah, spell everything. We could help you, dude. Cody streaming his game. Like, wow, this game is amazing. Everyone watching should totally play this now. Oh my god. Yeah, dude, this is really good. Yeah, I should just do that, dude. That's actually a great idea. I'll pretend that I haven't played it. Be like, dude, this is crazy. And then in the first level, it literally says, like, game made by Cody Penn. Be like, dude, the guy has the same name as me. That's really weird. That's awesome, though. I like how that's going. Maybe we have some camaraderie or something. Easy, consistent ads, Brett. Name of the game dev. Consistent ads. Who's this Cody guy? Damn, I gotta give him a tip. It's actually funny that you say that, Brent, too, because whenever I'm playing like a game or anything I program, I'm like, who programmed this? Why is this so bad at my own game? Consistent ads. That's true, Tyler. Now that you say it, consistent ads. I was just telling Sam today I gotta run ad rolls during my thing. Ads I make up. That's what I gotta do for my own content. I'm not a fan of ads. No, they would be funny though. They would be my own ads. Is what I gotta do. This stream is basically just an ad though, isn't it, Brent? No. I'm not a developer of the game. I totally haven't made this game, and I don't know anything about this game. Who is he, and what is this game? What is a computer? These are all really good questions that somebody pretending to not be there could do it. Oh, if they're your ads, I totally watch. Perfect. Great. Brent's here for certain kinds of ads. He's an ad lover in a way. And we're all ad dough lovers as well. Callback. Now, like you're making game is an ad itself. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that actually makes sense. This is an ad. Yeah, this is the ad. Make an ad about an ad of the game. Maybe I should do that. Make an ad about an ad of the game. Adception. You guys are really good at this marketing thing. I might have to hire you guys. Well, I'm thinking like 5%, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how good it is. Maybe. That's one of my favorite jokes from Tyler, dude. Is anytime he's saying something and he gives a good idea that he thinks is a good idea, he'll just go to the person and be like, okay, 10%. I need 10%. Find the bridge jump offers. Dude, that is great. Jump offers, like offer for something. Holy shit, dude. Addo's got a brain on him, man. This guy's quick. Jump offers. Yeah, that's good. I know you probably just meant like people that jump off bridges, but I'm also thinking like a jump offer, like an ad, like an offer for something. So that's a pretty funny thing. Heather has you and puzzled up. We're hearing you twice for max brain comfort. Awesome. Yeah, you could put me in the left and then put him in the right. And then it'll be, a perfect soothing sensation. Each one will jump off something else. That's true. Yeah, I got to think about I will jump off the bridge. No, there's no jumping off the bridges unless it's a really short bridge and it's safe, Thomas. I appreciate it. Yeah, am I just conditioning a whole audience of people to jump off bridges? I really got to think about this now. This is getting pretty bad. Or I'll do it anyways. Oh, no. Thomas is a vagabond. He's independent. A bouncy house bridge. There we go. Bouncy house is a good idea. I should do a bouncy house at some point. That's a good idea. Where am I? What's going on? Bouncy house. That's what's going on. Unmolded. It do be unmolded. Variable of 10. Player collision. Engaged with it. Minus each time. And then assuming it moves this, then master dot unmolded equals false. Kind of weird. That makes sense. Fear House Bridge. I do have a scary thing. I'm going to jump off the bridge of pain and sufferment. Should be fun. Thanks for the recommendation. No problem, Addo. I'm glad. Have you ever jumped off a bridge before? A small bridge. Very small bridge I've jumped off. Yes, I can say I have jumped off a bridge before. A tiny one. Just a tiny one. That's where I get all my reference material, though. If we all jump off the bridge at the same time, the news would pick it up, and that would be a free ad. Sam? 10% for you. I jumped off a toy ridge. Okay, that's good. Cody focus equals never. Dude, these streams, probably not, but the 8 hours after stream, I'm locked in. I promise. I just had a thought about having a level where you have a bungee cord to fit Brent. Dude, that is a fucking great idea, Brent. Holy shit. I'm disappointed I did not think of that myself. That's a great idea. Did you like it, jumping off the bridge? That's a good question, Thomas. It was a short bridge. It was a beautiful forest. There was no water below it. It was a bridge to a dried up stream. So yeah, I'd say I enjoyed it. Yeah, bungee cord made of steel. I've actually always wondered how they make a program like those bungee looking effects. I might have to do something with that. That would be fun, interesting thing to program. You have to melt it with the sun. That's also an interesting idea too, Addo. Can we move into the office if we quit our jobs? If you, at some point, I'm considering doing a game dev company. I would love for that to happen. But I don't know if I'd want you living at the office. But if we all had an office together, that would be awesome. I would absolutely adore that. Some of my favorite memories in high school are just us working on games and stuff together. So, remember how Earthworm Jim had a bungee jump level? Interesting. AI Cash Ni Jipoyan. That's a word. It's not a word I can read. Ain Cash Napoleon. I'm trying my best though. Oh man, Earthworm Jim was a fantastic game. You know, it's a game I've never played, actually. I own it though. I don't think I played it. In check, you know. Okay, gotcha. In check. Is that jumping off a bridge? Is that what that is? Is this something I should look up later? I wonder if I get an auto translate thing for chatty. I'm sure it has something like that. In check, you know. One day I'm going to come on stream and start speaking Czech and you guys are all going to lose your shit. I'm going to drop some Slovak, some Czech, some Spanish. I'm gonna do some Australian. I'm going to be talking about doing stuff on the Barbie and you guys are going to be like, oh shit, he's there. Jebaited. I was jebaited. Exactly. Be like, what is this guy talking about? An interesting level would be one where you just go to the bridge. But at the last moment, the scene switches with you being on the edge of a building. There's your family trying to convince you not to do it. And the world will be shifting between the bridge and building. You don't know which is real life. That is a depressingly interesting level. If my story of my game was about that would be good. But that's a good idea, Addo. I'm looking forward to your future game devs. The best you can do is the Swedish Muppet Chef. That's really funny you say that. Yes, the best I can do is the Swedish Muppet Chef. That's probably the best I can do. Swedish Muppet Chef. We've actually been talking about the Swedish Muppet Chef for a while now because Puzzled, our friend, he's in Finland and he's Irish, and we've been talking about him being the Swedish chef, but not the Swedish chef. Oh, dude, he's giving me the stuff to say now. Should I say this? Is this bad, guys? Let me know. Before I say this out loud, is this something that he's going to clip and then I'm going to be held responsible for this? As a certified Aussie, I can grant you the official Aussie status after your first shrimp on the Barbie. I cannot wait. Does that allow me to say some sort of like slang or something too? Is that what that is? Jump off the bridge, sad version. Yeah, that's the version you suggested. All right, I'm going to say this. If it's bad, I don't want to see any clips of this online. Just like that thing I told you not to clip yesterday. So I'm going to try my best. Cody, Je, Velmi, Dobry, Herny, Viojar, Vivajar. Cody, Je, Velmi, Dobry, Herny, Vivajar. I'll try my best. Do not say that. You will say that you lock up children in a basement. Fuck. Oh, no. Terrible. All right, don't clip it. Wipe that. JK. That would have been great, though. Don't say that. You will say that you lock up children in the basement. It's good. I mean, the benefits aren't great, but you get to shorten all your words and names. Like you can call it Thomas Tomo, and it'll be okay. I see. That's what the pass is. It's a pass that preserves your tongue, is what it is. That means Cody's a good game developer. I appreciate that. Thank you. Awesome. Vivajar. Okay. I can kind of see something in there, I think. Cody is... I think this is game. I think Vivajar is game. Cody is developer good game or something like that. Cody Zatavara Deti. How do you even say this? How do you pronounce the V? Do you say Detiv? I know I'm asking you guys how to pronounce stuff and you only have text to work with, but I'm doing my best here. Jeho Pivnichi Pre-8 Rakov. Vivajar is Delapore. What does Delapore mean? Oh, developer. Sorry. Got it. Okay. Vivajar is developer. I thought I've seen that before, so. Okay. Dude, we're learning. We're learning. I remember when you and Mally were talking in chat, and we were learning the Czech words. I know they're pretty hard to pronounce from what I understand, though, so. Le Delapore. It's Le Delapore. Now I made you actually say that you like basement. Addo. Oh my god, I'm being fucking trolled. I'm being trolled on stream. Addo's cunning. Tell you what, man, you have fun with your Addo game. We'll see how that goes. No. That's great. Don't clip that then. We don't need that to spread. Somebody will be like, yo, this jump off the bridge guy, this game's cool, but like the dude's like a weirdo. He's got like problems going on. Yeah, troll. He's that guy's something else, dude. I'm getting canceled. I am. If I didn't already get canceled for people mistaking my game as a glorification of suicide, then I'm getting canceled from saying I lock children in my basement in Czech or Slovak. Or both, I guess. Why the 8, though? Is that I lock 8 children in my basement? Because that's a number, right? Or is that a letter for you guys? Or are you trying to say, is that the and symbol? I don't know. I'm more interested. Maybe it's a compliment. Maybe. Maybe it is a compliment. I don't know how it would be a compliment, but maybe. I appreciate that you can see these different visuals, Fuzzy. Maybe I'm just really good at disciplining children. Please say this. Now, you said please, so I'll try my best. But these are all probably terrible things to say. Okay. As ukonasim stream puju skosit zimastu. So, as ukonsim stream puju skosit zimatsu. I don't know if I'm doing that right. Ja, Cody som zan charanka, klovenka ked dosto zastev sridka. Ja, Cody som zan kranka, klovenka ked dosto zastev sridka. Different cultures and such. That's true, yeah. It might be a around the world sort of thing. Jump off the bridge is a global feeling, depending on where you're at. Yeah, I came here to yap for 4 hours. That's what we're actually doing today. I might have to change the stream. We're learning Japanese. We're here to yap. I do need to actually work on some other languages. Brent said he was learning Chinese. I did try to learn Chinese at some point. So I'll have to do that again. Koleso, okoleso, sisa. Koleso, okoles, silo, sisa. Okoles, silo, okoles, silo. Koleso, okoles, silo, sisa. That sounds like a tongue twister, but in another language. I think that's exactly what that is. Trying to, yeah. You're closer to China than we are, so it is. Okay, awesome. Thought it was a tongue twister. You actually said it pretty accurately. Okay, sweet. We're working on it. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think I can pronounce Japanese pretty well. If you give me the Romaji or whatever, I can figure that out. Except for the silo part. Silo. Koleso, okolesalo. Sisa. Silo. Because we have obviously the word silo, so that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know what that sound would sound like. We'll figure it out together. Alright, so now I get to pretend that I know what I'm doing for programming. I know we added unmolded last, but I couldn't tell you what the hell I was thinking 30 minutes ago when I added it. But I'm going to leave it in there. So if we finish this, we're going to instantiate the image index by 1, and then we're going to make it not molded anymore. Unmolded. Maybe unmolded needs to be true. That makes the most sense. I became a Duolingo bird clipped easy. You got there, buddy. Well done. I picture Brent like patting him like you did your best. That's all it took. So unmolded equals true. And then for the sandcastle, unmolded equals false. Actually, this needs to be if we're molded, and then we get hit by a ball of sand, then we're going to increase the image index. Banned incoming. Banned incoming. Only Bronoham has the power to ban, so as long as you don't make him angry, you'll be fine. I do have the power to ban, but as you can see, I'm easily distracted by tongue twisters from other languages. So really, you just got to say a couple words and we'll be on our way. I'm going to forget exactly what you told me beforehand. That made me emotional. I can't change. Won't you fly high? Free bird. Yeah. Lord, I can't change. Won't you fly high? Free bird. Yeah. Yeah. Song lyrics. That's what, yeah. Look, I don't even know what the hell my train of thought is anymore. You already distracted me. What the hell is going on? Guess the song. Freebird. Maybe. I actually don't know. I did not grow up listening to music. Byproduct of having hearing aids and a hearing impairment. Yes. Awesome. Flappy Bird theme song. You're close, Brent. You're going to get there, though. Creeper. Oh, man. Creeper. Oh, you're talking about Creeper from, oh, shit, I know that song. From Radiohead? I don't remember any lyrics from Radiohead, but I did take a 20th century music history class, and we talked about Radiohead a lot. So I did listen to the albums. I think that's what you're talking about. I know the song. Just don't know the lyrics. Can't really hear the lyrics. I think this does something. Yeah, Minecraft was once called Mincecraft. I did not know that. Or Mince Raft. I did not know that. Why did they change the name, Addo? Okay, so then once we get hit by a ball, we need to set the player collision. Build requirement. Maybe it equals 10. Because it's RNG. Mince Raft. That was a good joke. I get the joke now. I think I get the joke. That was good. I was wondering what it was, but I think I got it now. Equals 10. Unmolded equals true. Okay, that should work. Disengagement. Actually, we don't have the disengagement working. Okay, this is we're gonna do an episode of compile the game and run it and see if it works. That is what we're currently gonna do. Because in my head, some of these are like there, and then other things are not. So we'll see. So right now we have a sandcastle. It accepts balls being thrown at it only when molded. And then, if I'm correct, the player does have the ability to mold it. Every time they press the pickup button, then they decrement the build requirement by 1, and then else it sets it molded, and then you have to throw another thing at it. And theoretically, you should also be able to jump on the tower because it has a solid. And also theoretically, the tower will wash away and delete the rest of the remaining things. I think it will work. Am I confident? I don't know. I don't know if I am confident. I'm not confident. What the hell is this? Create line. New bug. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up. That'd be my fault. Never works first try. You'd be surprised, man. I've had some crazy stuff work first try. But you are right, generally. Like when I did my tree, I think I have a stream of it. I'll have to pull it up. But it was like I'll show you the tree in a second too. I programmed like a bunch of stuff for this tree, and I'm pretty sure it worked like almost first try. I may have had to change something, but I was pretty impressed with myself. This creepy, grotesque tree here. I had like a bunch of stuff for it, and it all worked first try. And I was like, oh my god, this is great. Pretty good. Then I got to do the actual boss fight. See if it works second try, though. God damn it. Okay. It's amazing. Thank you, dude. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get that done for the update, but I'm debating on it. I got to make the rest of the boss fight for it. Cody, howdy. Howdy, Thomas. How are you? Are you role-playing as your Red Dead Redemption character now? We're all Westerners. No input allowed? Dog, what you talking about? Sandcastle player collision. No animations allowed. No input allowed. I am preparing it. I can't wait. I expect howdy, yeehaw. I want to see yeehaws in chat from you. And you gotta mean them. Seems like it's because of the width. Oh, you're probably right. Because of the width? You know what would be funny if there's a fake error message, which will be a platform you have to use. That's actually a good idea, too. Seems to be because of the parenthesis width. What line is this? Line 10? Binary. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's actually because of this here. That makes a lot of sense. It's because I copied this code over from the player and it doesn't have those variables because it doesn't need them. That's what it was. Because no input allowed and no animations allowed are player variables and they don't exist within this context. Hey, no. You want to help? I'm down for help. There will be things I will not see for sure. So. Is that a penguin? It's Easter Island head. Straight-faced. Okay, we cannot engage with it. And they do stack on top of each other, which is not what I was aiming for. Okay, we have problems. We have many problems. This is not going to work first try. Build not set before reading it. Watch any progress because I was watching the stream. It's okay. It happens. I was getting tongue twisted and tongue tied and brain tied up in a bunch of stuff. So we're going to make progress now. Okay. What are we doing? Troll face. That's great. I'm amazed it actually came up in this little preview in the corner here so I can see it. So this is for Sandcastle. And it says something called build isn't active, but I don't think I have anything named build. Step 0. Line 31. Oh, sorry. Build requirement. Okay. We'd be making progress. So now what I need to do is, I sort of anticipated this happening. So what we're going to do is for the collision, for the sandcastles, we're actually going to change it so that it's not a solid object. It's a player subject. A player solid object. I call this the enemy solid because enemies can pass through it. I know it's a terrible name because if you say parent enemy solid, you would imagine that would be a solid that would prevent enemies, but no, it allows enemies to pass through it. That's why I call it the enemy solid. Is Cody solid object? Depends on the day. Some days I feel more tangible than others. You ever just wake up and you feel like, man, am I really here right now? What the hell was I doing? Where am I going? Then you start to have your existential questions about your life. Then you do a couple push-ups and you feel better. Okay, that works. Okay, so those are not colliding with each other. Man, I'm not real. I'm unreal. Shit, Thomas, I hear you. Sounds about right. My boy's unreal, dude. He's not real at all. Okay, some reason I cannot engage with the thing. So it looks like I might be grabbing this a little fast. Installing DaVinci Resolve. Is that video software? I think it is. There's like a frame. Yeah, okay. I haven't used it before, but Sam Hyde uses it, and I was thinking about getting it at some point. Yeah, for some reason, there's like it's like almost too slow. I don't know what is making that happen. The ball is appearing above the player. Maybe I'll go to the sand pickup. If item in hand equals false. Here's what we'll do. We'll do oh, this doesn't have a if player exists. Thank you, Thomas, for the time. Almost about 2 hours in. If instance exists, object player. Okay, so if the player exists, yeah, I need this for both of these. And then kind of what I want to do is I want to do if, no, we can't do it that. Do we do this in the end stat? 16 days until my update. Splash tail, splash tail. Dude, I can't wait myself. I'm sure you're excited as well. Like I said, I got about 10 done, 10 levels, and then the level editor. I still have a couple things to do for that, but then we have Steam trading cards. Those are pretty much done. I just gotta wait for Steam to get back to me and tell me that, yep, we can ship them. And then you'll have to work on the badge. And I also have to set the drop rate for the stuff, too. I don't know how to set that or what to set that to, but that should be easy. And then I might want to do Steam Cloud saving. As we're halfway, I might duck out for 10 minutes to grab something to eat from the shops now. It's past opening time. Sounds like a plan, Brent. Yeah, go get some grub, dude. You earned it. Grind the cards. Yeah, grind the cards. Or just buy them. Either way, whoever's got them, they'll be there. I'm gonna be working towards my Time Wizard badge myself, so I might have to grind them. How do I want to do this? So my problem is that the player, he's on the ground and there's like a, I don't know, it just looks a little awkward. Maybe I'm just being pedantic about it. It doesn't necessarily matter. Maybe that thing is appearing too high, but you have limited drop. Yeah, you can set the limit, so I don't know what I'm gonna be setting it to just yet. Oh, I think I have it too high. Maybe that's what it is. What is the sand at here? Oh, it's 7. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's make it just 7. I think it being closer to your hands will make that less jarring. No limit. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. No limit. Like you can set the rate at which they appear, but I think you can only earn a certain amount per week or something. Is that how it works? It like resets every week. I honestly don't use the Steam trading cards at all, so I do not know how the system works. I just made the cards, I made the badges, I made the profile backgrounds, I made the emoticons, and then I'm just waiting for the approval, and I'm gonna put it in the hands of the people. Game time, I think. Yeah. So like the way you set it up is that you can set up a minimum required game time because that's like how long you want players to play to get the card, and then you can set up the frequency of drop rate or something, and then you're only allowed to earn a certain amount of cards per week in a particular game as well, or something like that. I don't know. I gotta read the documentation again, or maybe I just gotta make a badge or something like that. Maybe. Okay. So I guess we can leave that for now. Why we got to figure out why our sand thing isn't engaging. Why can we not engage with it? Because theoretically, when I walk up to this and press this, I should be locked in place. Actually, what we also need to do too for the player collision is a cleanup and do if the players engage with the cleanup. If the players engage with this, so if phase equals 1, and then we can do an instance exists player. I do obj player. And then with j player. And then we got to do no animations allowed equals false. No input allowed equals false. So they can move again, they can animate. So this is if the wave destroys the this. So how this works right now is I'm creating the sand, the ball of sand. I'm throwing it on the ground, and it is creating 3 things: a collision box itself, and then it's also creating a player collision box. And the wave, it destroys the master, which is the sand itself. And when it does that, the other things destroy itself in the cleanup step of the master. So what I need to make sure is that if we've locked the player animation-wise, because we're engaged with it, that the player's animation is unlocked when the wave destroys the sand. So that's what we're doing there. That's why I have this code here. So if we know we're engaged, then we're doing that. We should also check to make sure there's no overlapping sand, because I don't want that to happen too. That's a problem we can run into. I know it isn't working right now, and I'm just thinking through it, but we might as well do it while I'm thinking about it. So if phase equals 0 and instance exists player and this, then we also want to do if uj player dot no animations allowed equals false. Because if the player is already engaged with one, I don't want it to like trigger another one and then be working on 2 sandcastles at the same time. Okay, so no animations allowed is false, and the master's unmolded is true. Unmolded equals true. Yeah, okay. If place meeting player and pick a button press, phase equals 1. Unmolded equals true. Is unmolded true to start? Unmolded is true to start. If unmolded equals false, maybe that's where I'm getting hung up. Because unmolded is true, and then it does a bunch of stuff I don't want it to do. Maybe unmolded is a bad bad variable name for this now that I'm thinking about it. It's a curious question, though. Okay, so theoretically, this should make it so that I can engage with the thing, and then we might have to change the time for the wave so that we actually have time. Oh, it does not work. Oh, it might be because we should make them stop when they pick up sand. OJ player dot no input allowed equals true. OJ player dot equals false. No input allowed equals false. Okay, so this refreshes the animation and input for that as well. So actually what might be happening is the sand pickup is overriding the sand castle, which I kind of expected. TBH. So then maybe what we got to do is something a little weird. Maybe we got to do within the sand pickup. Since these are overlapping each other right now, you can't see it, but the sand pickup is like on the ground here. And what we have is I'm throwing this ball and it's creating this crumble of sand. And there's a little box around that that's invisible that allows the player, when they engage with it, to like come up and mold the sandcastle. And the problem is that they both overlap each other. And because sand pickup was created earlier, I think it's taking priority and then setting no animations allowed equals are true, which is making it so that the actual engagement can happen. So we're going to try to fix that. The best way I can think to fix it is we always want to prioritize working on the sandcastle over picking up sand. So the way we're going to do that is to check whether or not it's colliding with that object. And if it isn't, then I think that's probably the way to do it. I think that's what I'm going to do. But then do we have to cycle through each one to check if we're connecting with any of the player collision? Or is there a way to make this easier? Since there's only one sand pickup, maybe I'll do it a different way. There's only a single long narrow bar for sand pickup. So what we're going to do then is we're going to have the sand turn on and off. So we'll have can pickup equals true. Yeah, maybe that's what we got to do. And then what we got to do is, I would like everything to be kitchen sink design, as in everything should be within the contained things. So is there a way within this that we can check if the player is connecting with the player collision? I don't know. It would be easiest to do in player collision, because I would have to cycle through each one of them, and that would be annoying. Because I'm assuming they can throw, multiple sand castles. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do in the end step here, we're going to do if place meeting xy uj player and instance exist obj sand pickup. Then what we're going to do is with obj sand pickup equals false. Now that actually doesn't work. We can't do that because the problem is that how are we going to set it to true again? How do we denote? So maybe the best way to do it is to loop through each of them, and then that'll also keep it kitchen sink. It'll be within the sand pickup. So let's do that then. So for the end step, yeah, we'll do end step. That's fine. Maybe we'll just do step. Why is this end step? This could just be step. Change event to step. We'll see if that causes me any problems later. Make an end step. And then we got to do some sort of finagling here. This is what we want idealistically. We got to do a if. How do I want to do it? I think instance number is the thing I'm looking for. I think instance number does what I needed to do. So instance number, you can find out how many active instances exist, and then you can, yeah, can we go through each of them? I thought that was the way to go in. Maybe instance count. What the hell is that? Get the count of all active instances. That's not what I want. Instance number, I think, is what I want. Maybe it's instance find. All instances have a unique ID which can be used to modify and manipulate them while the game is running. You may not always know the ID. Maximum value for n is this. Gotcha, it is instance count. Instance count -1. Instance number object. Yeah, okay. All right. That's what we're doing. We're doing this. So we're essentially going to do this. We're going to cycle through each of the sand things, and we're going to go. Welcome back, Brent. That was quick. Do you live in the city? For reference, out here we got to drive forever to get to stuff. Minimum 30-minute drive, depending on where you're going, I guess, obviously. I'm in the city right now, but... Okay, so we're going to do... Yeah, also tell us what you got, man. Small apartment in the city and there's a supermarket downstairs. That's really convenient, dude. That is actually super convenient. Is it a good supermarket, too? Boucher, Sand, Castle, Player, Collision. Instance number. We had to do -1 though, don't we? This one doesn't have a -1 for some reason. Super convenient shop 101. Yeah, that is really convenient. And we're gonna do var collider. Okay, so it's going to go through the list of them, find them, and then we're going to use that. Why does this have an I here? I don't even need that, dude. Oh, it's adding them to an array. Got it. We're not doing that. It's okay. It's one of the big name supermarkets that mark up the prices, so I pay more than I would if I walked 10 to 15 minutes down the road. That's how it usually is. You pay the price of convenience. We all suffer. Okay, and then we do if collide, or sorry, we should do, I guess we do if collider. No. What's the challenge you're facing now? So my problem I'm facing now is that I have the invisible object that layers over the sand that allows me to pick up sand. Great, works cool. Problem is I throw sand down, it turns into a pile, and I have another invisible collider that I'm trying to collide with. Problem is it's prioritizing the sand. So that's what I'm working on. Go back to working. Good on you, Addo. I'll still be here. Got more time to go. So what I'm going to do to solve this problem is I'm going to, from the pickup of the sand object, go through every player collision. Can use instance place list. I'm kind of doing something similar. I don't know if I've ever. Yeah, 6 more hours. 6 more? I will still listen. Okay, gotcha. Instance place. I don't think I've ever used instance place list. You can check a position for a collision with all instances using collision mask. What the hell is this, dude? This might actually solve my problem. Drew wants to watch me for 6 hours, dude. We're going to be here all day. Check position for collision. Object using the collision mask. Basically, it creates a list of everything that's colliding with the item, then loop through and do something with the one you want. Interesting. Weird. That's basically just a long form way of what I'm going to do here, I think. But that's interesting. I don't think I've ever used this. Weird. Huh. Thank you for that. I will look at that later. Okay. So yeah, it's basically just a DS list and then it puts everything in there. And this goes through. Okay. Yeah, good stuff, dude. We're learning Game Maker together. All right. I'm going to do this because I think this will work. Because I'm going to basically just do with collider. Oh, dude. Actually, Brent, you might find this really hilarious. Wait, give me 2 seconds to finish this, and I got to show you something that's absolutely terrible. I think you'll love it. Use binary tree instead. On is slow, and you should use on log n. I don't know even what a binary tree is, bro. I don't even understand what you just said. I know that's logarithmic number, but I don't know what this is. Logarithmic n. Drew's just trolling too. I got a bunch of trolls in chat today. What the heck? Time complexity of searching. Okay. That explains a little bit more, but I'm not sure if I get it. So with the player, break rule number 3 of programming with what I said. Is that a callback to that document of like the unmanageable code? Is that what you're talking about? I actually don't know what the rules of programming are. I don't know if that's just like a modern list or something. I was never taught that, so I have a bunch of terrible. I have some really bad code that I want to show you in a second, but let's make sure that this works. So yeah, I'll have to show you a level to go with it too, but it should make sense. So how do I want to do this? I could do var is meeting equals false. And I think if I do other dot is meeting equals true. Oh, actually, I don't even need that. We just have can pickup when we set it. Can pickup equals false. We just do that straight. So if it's meeting, then boom, pickup equals false. And then how do I reset can pickup? So it goes through the list of the sand player collisions, checks if it's meeting with a player, and then sets can pickup to false. Maybe just at the start of everything, I turn can pickup into true. That's probably the best way to do it. Can pickup equals true. So at the start of the phase, no, because we want to test it. It should, can pickup should be true here. And then it'll tell me if I can't pick it up, and then next time it loops through, then we can do the code here. Because I don't want you to be able to pick it up first. I think that'll work. Okay. So yeah, here, let me show you this terrible code. Let me first find it. Gotta find the bog. I think you'll appreciate my solution to an old problem of mine. I think it's in here. It's like player body part or something. Bog. Maybe it's in the player. It's a good question. Maybe it's in the ball. Power-ups. Not really a power-up. Ball and chain. Ball and chain. Yeah, here. I made this years ago. Iron ball. I want to see if I can find this absolutely horrible code that you're going to find amazing. I think I have a script for it, actually. What would it even be called? Ball collision? Oh, ragdoll parts. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. So here's what it is. So I thought this was really funny because it's just, I don't know, it's like Inception, basically. It just keeps going down and down and down. So for context, though, you got to see the level first. So I have this level called the bog. You try to move, you fall down. Okay, you can't get up once you fall down, so you got to just keep going down. I talk to this guy, whatever. Get in his house. You got to grab the ball and chain, okay? You got to actively give yourself the ball and chain. Now, actually, it's probably easier to show here, but basically, when you throw the ball and chain, you turn into a ragdoll. And I kind of have like the player parts, and so like you have to use the ragdoll to ascend the bog and get to the top. But if you throw incorrectly, obviously you fall all the way back to the bottom. Kind of like Jump King, basically. Is basically what the goal of it is. Yeah, so the funny part is, though, is that each of these like ragdoll pieces is like this obnoxious programming. So I have it create like the pelvis, and then I have it create like parts of the chest, and then I have it creating like things to go down it. So like the chest creates a neck, and then with the neck creates arms, and then with the arms creates more arms, and then those arms create arms. Like it just keeps going down the list. I thought that was really funny programming when I did it. I was like, this is terrible, but it kind of makes sense because you got to take each of these and do with the pelvis, create the leg, with the leg, create the thing. It's super funny. So yeah, it just keeps going down and down until all of them are programmed. But it works. The ragdoll effect worked. That's all I wanted. So it creates it there. Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, it's pretty great. And it actually, they do connect, even though it's like jank as fuck, but it does work. Very, very funny solution to that. I was like, yeah, I'll just create it, then we'll go with that. Yeah, it's a pretty fun level. I have a couple more things I want to do to it, because I have a thing in here where every time you restart, it gets darker. And so I eventually was going to add enemies. Oh, sorry. If you click restart too many times, you get Rippy. He tries to help you. No, I don't want to try on sticky keys. Get the fuck out of here. But I was going to make it so you got to return to the bottom, and then you turn off this, and then you got to do it from again. Also, if you click restart too many times, no, Rippy, relax. You get the hot potato, and then if you don't pick up the thing in 5 seconds, it blows up and kills you. So, pretty good. Please, quick help. Send it, Thomas. Let us know. But yeah, that's some very terrible programming for that. It's pretty funny. Because why not? Yeah, why not? Can you send me the jump sound from Jump Off the Bridge? It might be hard to pull out immediately, but I can do that later. I can do that after stream. I have to dig it out. I got to pull it out of my filing cabinet. Is that fine? Actually, if you want something, here's what I would recommend. You will like it. Okay, here, I actually have a solution for you. So here, I'm going to send the link in chat. I use this to make all my sounds for Jump Off the Bridge because they're like old retro things, and it's pretty easy. You just load it up, and then you click what you want, and then it gives a random version of some sound. You can do mutation, and then you just export the wave, and then you can adjust everything in here. So I use this too for sound. Dude, that's amazing. We have a lot more in common than I thought, Brent. What the hell? Have you been... Are we just copies of each other? Are we clones? I can also see myself making a bar game with a big-breasted princess. I mean, big plot princess. Hey. Yeah, what's going on? I feel quite similar. A local multiplayer game? Yeah, LMAO. We have some camaraderie here. All right, let's see if this sandcastle actually works. I need the one from your game for the meeting. Okay, I will dredge that up after stream for you. Can you send me a Discord message about it so that I can remember? And then I'll do that after stream for you. All right, what are we doing? We're building sandcastles. No, we're not. We're not building sandcastles. I was lied to by myself. Okay, so maybe the player collision just doesn't exist. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm lying to myself. Stalker developers in chat. Yeah, they've been watching forever. They've been watching through my webcam. That's how they know everything I do. They got like a screen monitoring system on me. They're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. We should use BFXR for sound effects. Do you mean he's walking through it instead of stopping? No, the problem is what's supposed to happen is when you press the pickup button next to the sand, he should stop moving, and then it'll go into a build animation, which I haven't drawn yet. But he'll go into a build animation. So what I'm looking for is for it to stop, so I can't move. I'm locked in place, and I should be able to hit the pickup button 10 times, and that should create the sandcastle. That's what should happen, but that is not what is happening right now. So I'm wondering. First, I need to check. This is essentially the scientific hypothesis. First off, does the player collision actually exist, and are we colliding with it? Or is it something else? Actually, I can just test that easily by doing a debug. It's not a matter of throwing the sand at it over and over to build it. No, I was going to do it so you have to throw it, and then you got to walk. I mean, right now, the way it's programmed is you throw the ball, you walk up to it, make the sandcastle, and then you go back, throw another ball at it, walk up to it. Actually, that probably won't work. I probably need to just throw a bunch of sand in a pile, and then you build it. But that the development time of that castle depends on how big the pile is. That actually probably makes more sense. What the hell am I thinking? That's a much better idea. Yeah, I didn't know there was a hot potato secret in the swamp hole. I don't know if it's in your version of the game. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if it's in that. That may be something I did 2 years ago, and I thought it was in there, but it might not be in there. So in the new version, there's a lot more random stuff that may or may not be in there. Yeah, if you do too poorly on that level and restart too many times, it does it puts on the hot potato. I can't remember when I made that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna check just to make sure that the thing is running, and if it do be running, if it is running, then we'll know. So I want to see this. I want to see if this happens first off. Okay, it does exist somewhere. Haze equals 0. But it's obviously not meeting the player. Okay. So let's see if we can engage with it. There's something that's preventing us from engaging with it. I wonder if it needs a sprite. What is this? Oh, I think I see my problem. Do I have the wrong sprite? The wrong invisible sprite here? In this? Yeah. So I have Sandcastles player collision. And then I have this, which is nothing. And then I have this, which is nothing. I just forgot to delete it. Okay. That should make it work. Could you add an on-collision event on the sand with the player and then add code to interact in there? If you add a breakpoint in there, you know the collision is working. That's true. On-collision event in the sand with the player. I could do that. I think I did fix it, though, with this. I'm doing the level with the hot potato. With the hot potato? I should make that an achievement, dude. That's a great idea. Do it with the hot potato? That's an achievement idea. I'll keep that in mind. I was gonna do it like if it's all the way. The only thing I didn't program was mosquitoes or something. That's what I was gonna add. Some kind of spider or mosquito to get in your way. And then I was gonna add an achievement, I think. I think I did have an idea for that. I'll have to check. I think I have an achievements thing in my whatever. Yeah. Okay, this should work. No. Oh, it does. Okay, it does work. It's working. I'm at the Crocs right now. Crocs? If you can unchain from the hot potato, it becomes like a bomb, and you can throw it to kill the mosquito. That's also an interesting idea. Nice. Yeah, it does work. I just got to deal with the rest of the code, I think. Do I? Maybe? Am I on drugs? I thought it worked a second ago. Maybe not. Maybe I'd be trolling. Sandcastle collision. Unengaged, place meeting, pick up pressed. I like games with a lot of achievements for some reason. Makes sense. I like achievements, but I don't like when achievements are, I don't know. I've always been weird about achievements. That's why I made the achievements for Jump Off the Bridge simply just playing the game and beating the levels. But as I get older, since it's been 5 years now, as I get older, I definitely want some of the more challenging achievements to at least be there for people that want to. I mean, it's just free content, basically, for people that really like to do difficult things. It's a good way to create alternate goals for players. So I'm probably going to rethink and do a bunch more different achievements after. Probably be after the update. I don't know if I'm going to have them ready for the update. Because I got to get the Steam API back into this, because I took it out when it was broken, because I'm using a beta version of Game Maker Studio. And they broke it because originally it was like something that was in Game Maker, and then they made it like an extension as they updated it, and then they have like their own documentation for it now, but then they moved it to GitHub, and it's jumping everywhere now, so I'll have to figure that out. I'm almost at the end of the level. Good job. You're a gamer, dude. I can definitely tell you're good at platformer games, Addo, because I tried some of those platformer games you put on Scratch, and they are very difficult. Painfully difficult, even. I will say painful. They were very difficult. Took a lot of time to learn that gravity. Okay, I think what I want to do is I want to do it different, though. And I fell to the bottom. It's terrible. Okay, so then in that case, do I want to split these sprites up? Because that's going to make it easier mentally, I think. Yeah, let's do that. We'll actually use molded and unmolded. I think that's going to be better gameplay-wise to play anyways. We can test it, though. So unmolded. Oh, sorry. I'm looking for sprites. My bad. Unmolded. Okay. So let's go in here. A lot of fumbling, but I think we'll do it. Okay, these are unmolded, so these are just mounds. Get rid of the mounds. Okay, and then molded is just castles. Hello, Jazz. How are you doing today? How's your day going? Keep breaking Excel. What are you even doing in there, man? Accounting work? How are you breaking it? Version of that level where you're forced to have the potato. That's also a good idea, too. Okay, then we got to do... I could do a switch case for this, or I could just do two separate sprites for molded and unmolded and swap between them. I feel like it's easier. Let's do that. So also the solid will have molded and unmolded. Too long or too complex? I didn't even think Excel would have a problem with that. Second time I fell from top to bottom. That is rough. Well, this is unmolded. I honestly did not think there was a limit on formulas. Okay, so these are unmolded. So these are the mounds. So this, 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 this. Okay. And these are molded. You get a calculation error. I did not know that. These are molded. This. Molded. Yeah, all these are molded. Okay. All right. Anyways, I was born to code. I think you are. It sounds like your job is basically just like, yo, man, you can't do everything in Excel anyways, so you got to learn how to code. It sounds like they were asking you to do coding anyways in your accounting stuff. Okay, so we have two separate sprites, so now we're going to change this. And I got to fix this here. Just delete this. Hell yeah, brother. Jazz is going to be another coder in chat. I cannot wait for whatever game Jazz makes. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they wanted you to do it all manually. To manually sift through it. They can fight you. Yeah, they can. They can fight you. Yeah, what a... Yeah, and then didn't they blame, like, the fact that it wasn't done on you or something? That was pretty funny. Okay. I think Addo's here too. Yep, Addo's here. And Thomas. And Fuzzy. I think he's listening, though. I think Fuzzy's working on his game. And I think Drew might be here too. I think. He told me he's going to watch 6 more hours. I'm not doing 6 more hours, but he told me he'd watch them. He gave me his guarantee, actually. All of the Cody gang working. Yep, Batman's here. He's working. They want me to do that for my coworkers now. Me too. Wow, everybody's working in chat. I'm glad I actually have such a productive chat. I do really like that. We're all working on stuff together. Okay. It's a collective effort. Well, I guess I gotta pull my weight. I can't be the only one not doing anything. Okay, so we have a sandcastle now. And we gotta change the way I was thinking about doing it. So, whenever it collides... actually, it doesn't matter if it's unmolded or molded. Actually, it does matter if it's molded or unmolded. So it's going to be a pile to start. This is the unmolded one, right? I'm going to assume that's unmolded based on the little pile. And then we have different thing. We're going to make this, to begin with, unmolded. Okay. And then we got to change this for the solid. Oh. How do I want to do that? I guess I can do in the end step. So if my sprite index equals SPR sandcastle solid unmolded and then else. Okay. So collision box equals okay. So what we're doing here is we're making it so the sprite index is equivalent to what version we're at. Addo is suffering. I guess maybe that achievement is going to be pretty good. Sandcastle solid. So. Oh. What am I doing, bro? Okay. So, and then we don't even need this. It's just sandcastles unmolded. Okay. Why am I doing this? Yeah, wait till I put the achievement up, then you can do it. You're doing it just because you really like the pain. That's what it is. Otherwise, it's gonna equal molded. Okay. So keep the collision box updated is what we want to do with that. Die on wave. I might make this a timer so that the wave actually covers it before it deletes itself later, but we can do that in a minute. For now we need to do probably, I could do a number that's based off of the image X scale, or the image index of the particular thing. So it could be like 5 times the number of the image index, but that sounds a little strange. I think we might just have to do an array. So we'll do, this should be in the player collision ultimately. So array. I'm pretty sure you can just do all the variables at once, can't you? I should be able to just do something like this. But I don't remember. Okay. I don't really use arrays that much. I actually really like the DS list when I was using them. Those are much better. To 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 6 sprites up to 5. All right. So in the player collision, let's make the first one like 5. Do I want to go up by 5 each time? I don't know. No, we don't want to do that. It might be too fast. 11. Maybe do it by 3 each time. I don't know. Maybe the higher ones have much more time. Maybe we'll do something bigger like 20 and 25 button presses for that. We'll see if that works. Okay, so then we have to change how this code works. Imagine having to throw a ball, then pick it up midair and throw it again. Yeah, I expect when I release the level editor a bunch of people to make those Kaizo type levels. I think I have most of the stuff for Kaizo kind of already programmed. Like for example, like years ago I programmed that a bird that kind of works like the Koopa Troopas. I haven't used it for anything, but I do have him. He's really old looking. Hammocken, the hammerhead chicken is what I was calling it. I probably gotta edit that code. That guy's probably, I don't even want to look at him. He's a deranged bird. There's some problems going on there. Did you add the ball ability? Yeah, it does look cute. I can actually, I'll put him in the, next time I compile, we'll look at him. He has an egg. I can't remember if the egg has gravity. And then the hammocken. Actually, I think I did have a, well, it doesn't matter. I thought I had a separate level select for like secret levels at some point. I cannot remember. Title screen. I think this was it. It's been a while since I've used it. I'll put it on there and we'll test that too. I had some other weird old levels that I have not revived. So check that out next run. And then we got some code to deal with here. Got a ban. Can I do ban from here? Oh wait, I think I just click on him, click ban, can I? Oh yeah, easy, done. Quick. Okay. All right, we got to change the way this works. So if, maybe we'll just make a, maybe molded makes more sense. If it has been molded, if it hasn't been molded, that does make more sense. So if molded equals false and meeting this, then we can also increase the image index by 1. And we don't want to affect... no, we don't need to worry about the build requirement. Actually, we do. The build requirement should array should be my image. No, the build requirement should equal the... I have a better idea. Let's try this again. Player collision box with it, the build requirement is going to equal build requirement array, and then the image index of this thing. Okay. Because that's what we're going to determine, is how many times they need to do that. Okay. All right. So that updates that. If molded equals false, we should define molded before it throws me that error. I know it will. Molded equals false. So it starts out not molded. I guess that makes more sense. And then when the player collides with it, if phase equals 0, which it does to start, let's check our logic. Okay. If the player exists and if the master exists. If the player is not in an animation already, molded equals false, has not been shaped, then if meeting the player, and if pickup is pressed, which is keyboard check action, then we engage. And if it is engaged, perhaps what we'll do, we'll make the obj player dot sprite index something silly so that we can test it. Let's turn him into a hedge, just so we know this is working. Okay. Now we have a build requirement, which can start at 5. It is updated every time a thing is thrown. And if pickup button is pressed while that's happening, good. If these are pressed, then it gets out of that. I want to say theoretically this works. Oh, and then if this unmolded, molded equals true. You did it. Bravo, Addo. You've been working on that for a little bit. Good job. Image index plus plus. So it increases the image index. No, actually we don't want to do that. We want to make master dot sprite index equal to sprite index equal to SPR, because the effect disappeared. Yeah, that's true. Don't worry, I will make a thing for it when I update that level next. I don't know if that'll be for this update, but whenever I update it, I will. I'll make a hard achievement for you. But I'm probably gonna add mosquitoes, so good luck. Good luck, future Addo. Sandcastle molded. Molded equals true. I think that works. I'm not 100% because it hasn't worked yet. But I'm feeling like I'm getting closer. So we have no way to make it unmolded with this new code, but that should be fine because I kind of want the player to determine how big of a sandcastle they want to make, and then they go and try to make it, and then they can use that to jump over the wave. That's kind of my thought. Okay, and then we can check out the hammock-in while we're at it. I thought I could click on this. Okay, I guess I can't. Right? Those levels are dead. This is what the hammock-in looks like. Bro, come back. Don't walk off the edge. Okay, well, he killed himself. So yeah, I had eggs. You can hop on them a couple times. And then you can knock them into a ball like a Koopa. And then you can kick them off. That's kind of where I feel like the Kaizo level stuff will be. Bro, guy just gets up and seeks the bridge, dude. It's insane. This is my Koopa variant. Okay, he's broken. He needs stuff fixed. Yeah, it's neat. Thank you. He's got some problems though, dude. We've this guy's got places to go. Here, let me remove this broken thing. I used to have a secret where you could click on, yeah, save, where you could click on one of these things and it would bring you to a secret level select. It was in one of the beta versions a long time ago. Alright. So then let's see if our sand code works or doesn't. Oh, okay. So it grows. Okay, obviously the water is like way too quick. And we pick up way too slow. Maybe that mandatory 3 frames is too much. Let's change that. The wave would need to be slowed down a little bit. Yeah, probably. Actually, that's a good idea. Let's just slow down the wave. Do I want to do 2? It does slow over time. Maybe I'll do 3 and we'll see what that looks like. But I also do think I need to have the pickup change as well. So the weight is 3. Let's do a weight of 2 and see how I feel about that. And if I don't like 2, then we'll do 1 and we'll just go with the single frame thing. We'll see how that looks. Technically, I think even with a weight of 1 though, it'd still be two steps or something versus 1, so we might get a little bit of variance in the sprite. But I would rather the player feel good picking up and throwing sand and like rushing over to like build the sandcastle than worry about like it looking good, him crouching down and grabbing the sand. Feel above look for me. Or I should say utility over form. Function over form. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I definitely gotta adjust the timing and the speed of the wave. That'll have to be determined dependent on how much difficulty we want. That does feel much better. It's like just enough. Okay. The wave probably just needs to be a 2, honestly. Honestly, that's pretty good so far. I like that. That's going good. The other thing I want to do, so let's do the wave to 2. That's fine. I feel like the time of spawning is pretty good. I also want the ball of sand that you have in your hand to deteriorate with the wave. Well done, thank you. We be making progress. I hope you know, Brent, that my goal for today is after my stream, I'm going to go finally make some food for the day. I've been fasting all day. It's like almost 5 p.m. But when then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch your stream first. That's what I'm doing. I'm figure out what the hell your game was about. Because I know I got part of it. So I'm excited to see the rest of that. So hopefully you had a good explanation. If I have any questions, I'll bring them back to you for your next stream. And we'll go from there. Nice. Thanks, man. No, dude, honestly, the game's great. I'm looking forward to it. And honestly, it looks pretty playable, too. I don't know how much polishing you're going to do or what your plans are for the future. I don't know if you mentioned that in your stream. If you mentioned the stream, you can just leave it. But if you probably just throw that on Steam pretty early, too, depending on what you're doing. It already looked relatively playable. Alright, so the ball of sand I want to destroy under the wave. So I think right now Yeah, I hope you like it. I actually left out a pretty funny part in that stream that I wanted to show you next time you're watching. Okay. I think it's pretty playable right now. It does look really playable. Because I noticed like the actual movement and all those mechanics and stuff seem to be like pretty set in stone and solid. So it just depends on like how far you want to go. I don't know. I noticed that you had like elves and other characters. I didn't know if there were like class specific abilities or something that you were going to do. Like elves can disappear and go invisible or something or whatever. Orcs can smash tables and throw them into other players, pushing them against a wall or something. Okay. Yeah, so we have this here. At the moment, there's not, but it's something I want to do for a while. I just haven't thought of good enough ideas that I can implement. You know, it might help for inspiration is to open up a Dungeons and Dragons book and look at the classes or the different races and stuff like that. See what their abilities for the race are, because that might help you with that. Or look at other games too with racial abilities. That could be fun inspiration. I feel like in a multiplayer game, especially with 4 people, the elves going invisible would be like a really useful thing because then they could hide. But maybe the drinks are still visible, so you just see the drinks moving. That could be kind of funny. They don't even have to be useful. They could just be kind of gaggy like that, like jokes or something, gimmicks. I was thinking it would be interesting to see the tables move. Like you could push an obstacle in front of somebody else or something, but I don't know how the pathing looks for any of those NPCs and whether they're like static or anything, or whether they can move around dynamically if you added collisions. That might be different, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're a smart guy. You got this. Okay, so we have a crumble. I think I just need to make it so that basically the same thing. Destroy on wave. It should theoretically work without even me doing this, but I'm still going to do this. Okay, if place meeting, washing wave. Then I just want to destroy it, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Destroy on wave. Okay. There is one interesting thing I was thinking about putting in for the gnomes, because the gnomes are strength 0.5, whereas everything else except for ogres is 1. So if you fight a single gnome, you'll kick his butt. But the trait about gnomes is you fight one and all the nearby gnomes jump in to fight also. That's awesome. So I thought maybe if you play gnome, you get that ability as well. That is a really great ability. I like that. I love the fighting mechanic too. I thought that was great. Just that like old Looney Tunes like cloud, and then everybody like tussles together. That'd be pretty funny. That's a good idea, dude. That gnome, dude, that's a great idea. Yeah, you got plenty of ideas. What are you talking about? You just gotta believe you have good ideas. That's your problem. You don't believe you have good ideas. What the hell, Brent? Come on, man. That is also funny that there's different strength values too, because the ogre, you just basically never overpower him. He always kicks your ass. I believe in you, Brent. Look at Jazz believes in you. I believe in you. I'm sure we can get the rest of the people to agree they believe in you. We're ready. I want to see Brent Brother drop his first Steam game, dude. Maybe. It's more like I had plenty of ideas, but they seem kind of OP. That's true. You could always have him turn off abilities though. You know, you could put that power in the player's hands. So, with your faith, I'll make it. Together. Together the game dev crew. Okay, so I still think that this isn't working totally. It's pretty good. Let's rerun it again. This one I want to be my first one. I'm excited. I think it's a cool game. And actually, you have kind of an advantage with the advertising thing because people like want to play games with their friends, so that'll be easier to push like word of mouth just by the nature of the game. Um, so you have that advantage, and then if you can get some like YouTubers or something to play it, then that could also help too if you're trying to do advertising. You basically just need a bunch of guys on a couch having a good time, which is what your game's about anyways. Wait a minute. I just realized, what the hell is the point of making the sandcastle if you can just stand on the pillar? You need the sounds, man. You're going to have to wait, buddy. Cody, don't forget. I won't forget. You sent me a Discord, right? What is the point of the sandcastle if you can just stand on the pillar? Questions abound. How do I make the sandcastle relevant? That's another question. I'm working on your new you're trying to do the new trailer? Oh my god. But I have so much stuff that isn't done yet. I appreciate it though. I have a question for you regarding Steam. Since you've already published this and making additional updates, how does it work when publishing updates? Does Steam manage all that for you? Kind of. You have to still like so when you upload an update to Steam, you'll figure it out. It's in the documentation, but basically like there's a page and you upload whatever package your file is. And then when you upload your package for your file, you just designate like what it is, what branch you want it to go on, whether you want it to be on like beta branch or another branch or like Mac OS branch, whatever. You got to put it on one of those branches, and then you hit upload and then publish. Basically, it's pretty simple. It does require that you have like the Steam SDK on your computer because it uploads from that, I think. It's been a while since I've done it, but yeah, you'll read it when the time comes. It's pretty easy. You just connect to the Steam API and then they have an uploader. The lucky thing is if you have a game that's less than 500 megabytes, I think, you don't even need to use the SDK. You can just upload it onto their website and then package and then publish, basically. So it's just like 3 buttons. If you have something bigger than that, then you have to go through the SDK uploading, and that's a little bit more difficult, but it's pretty simple. It might even change by the time you get your game done because they're doing a lot of stuff with GameMaker right now, so they've been swapping it. Your first project in DaVinci, that's glorious. Okay, so it's cool and all that I can build these towers. Maybe I should make it so you can't collide with the tower unless it's a sandcastle. That's what I gotta do. That's probably the thing I gotta do with it. You cannot stand unless it is actually a tower. And that is what I probably gotta do. Bro, my nose is messing with me. My mouse. Your mouse is messing with you. That probably makes the most sense. Your mouse is trolling you now. It's an Addo mouse, actually. It's getting revenge against the Addos. Okay. What doth I want to do? Alright. So, first off, we gotta make it so that the collision doesn't exist unless we're molded. Yeah, I tried to connect to the Steam SDK, but it was failing because my Apple developer account expired and I didn't want to spend money to renew it. And GM runs a bit slower on PC, so I built it on Mac. Try to connect to the Steam SDK. Yeah, so for reference, I grew up with Macs, like Apple too. It was like when I started and stuff, but then I eventually moved to PC. But I bought like a Mac Mini or something. It's like collecting dust in the corner because I did have an Apple developer account, but I could not get my game to compile with Apple at all. It's something I'm gonna have to spend like a month just like praying to some gods and sacrificing goats or something to get the fucking Mac OS port to happen. But I do have a Mac, so I can't help you with that. I'm absolutely destroyed on that Mac thing. I technically wasted like $100. I could not get it running for like a year. Every time I sat down and do it, I was like, I actually hate this. I hate having to go through the Apple developer account, getting the licenses, getting it approved, going through each of these, like, and then it just wouldn't compile. Oh my God, it was a nightmare. This is gonna, I was about to jump off a bridge, honestly. That's how I was kind of feeling, frankly. I was feeling like jump off a bridge. I wanted to drag one thing, but decided to drag a different thing, and I deleted the code because of that. That actually is suffering, dude. I'm sorry, Edo. That sounds difficult. It sounds painful. I've done that before, too, where you grab something on the wrong layer and delete it. Hopefully Control-Z exists, and you can undo. Yeah, so you're on your own with that Mac stuff, buddy. I wish you luck. Mac Mini last year. Yeah, I think I have a Mac Mini. That's what it is. That tiny one, right? It's my main computer. I bought the mini PC purely to compile and test my game on PC. Yeah. It'll be much easier to release it on PC than Mac for sure, because you don't got to pay the $100 for the dev account. I think you can technically release the game not being Mac. It's just a DMG file instead of their like executable file, which is different than a DMG or something, because DMGs are like not licensed or certified by Apple, so whatever. I don't know. I gotta look at that documentation again when I have the gumption, when I have the confidence to face that apple again, that poison apple. I did like Macs growing up. I had no problem with them. I primarily was a Mac user, and then I went to PC, and I have not looked back. And then when I did look back, it was all suffering. There were people dying. It was fire. There was a lot of brimstone. It was dragons for sure. You probably didn't know hell had dragons. It does. There's a lot of them. I don't know where they come from. Probably another dimension, but there's a lot of dragons in hell. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off collision for unmolded. Or maybe, how do I want to do that? Does it make sense? I don't know why I didn't think about this before. What was I thinking when I made this level? I was like, okay, you're going to build sandcastles, and the sandcastle is going to get bigger. And then you're going to be able to jump off. But then I was like, okay, well, we got the spire, so we could just... I mean, look at that. That's pretty much... That's the level right there. You don't even need to build a sandcastle. I could just end it right here. What the hell's the point? I guess we gotta figure that out together. Make it much longer. The wave? Yeah, I probably will make the wave longer. Right now it's just a temporary wave. Oh, you mean the platform longer? I could do that too. Yeah, the floor. Yeah, that's why I figured it out. The floor longer. Could do that. I feel building the sandcastle has to be a prerequisite for completing the level. So I'm just going to make it so you can't collide with these pillars until they're sandcastles. I think. Thinking. I think that's a good idea. I think so too. I think that'll work. I mean, the players will figure it out at the end of the day. They figured out all my other levels, so I gotta have confidence in them. But also my molding sandcastle is not actually working, so first we gotta figure out that. So we should be able to go here and do this, and we should turn into a hedge bush, but that's not happening. So we're gonna figure that out first. Which is why we have debug mode in GameMaker. Debug? If the pile collapses if you try to jump on it. Dude! Genius idea. Amazing, bro. Holy shit. That's a great idea, dude. That is actually perfect. I was just thinking in my head, I was like, okay, we need a way to communicate to the player that the unmolded castle does not work. Genius. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. That works great. That actually does work pretty good. Brent, we think alike. I think I would have eventually came to a similar conclusion, but that is a really good idea. Okay, so then what we're gonna do? Okay, that's great. We'll keep that in mind. First, I need to figure out why the thing's not working. Yeah, great minds think alike. You're right. Great minds. So I'm not even hitting that code, am I? Is the debugger on? Did I not turn it on? I don't see the green thing here, but I see an FPS. It do be here. Molded equals false. Place meeting. Pickup rest. It's this place meeting I'm still having a problem with. It's got something to do with this. So, no, it is blue. Let's action. Okay, I mean, it all looks legit, but we do need to figure out why it's not engaging. I mainly made it blue to see if we have the right sprite. It does exist. Maybe it's not tall enough. We can add 8, I guess, to the width, right? Eight to the width. Is that gonna solve my problem? I don't know. Let's compile it with this and we'll see what happens. Is the if condition above preventing you from getting to it? I don't think so, because I think it's a good question though. Because molded is going through. It's not hitting this for some reason, but it does seem like it's hitting the molded equals false. I want to physically see this thing spawn before I do anything else. And we'll try to determine what my problem is. Okay, it do be spawning. I honestly think it's just prioritizing. Oh, what? Okay. It must be prioritizing the sand pickup still. Can pickup equals true. Go through sandcastle player collision. If place meeting with player, other guy can pick up his. Oh, actually, you know what I forgot? I made a mistake. I figured it out. It's because I didn't actually. I made a can pickup variable, but it doesn't do anything. So we're gonna do and can pickup equals true. Yeah. Okay. I solved it, guys. We figured it out. That's got to be it. It can't not be it, actually. I simply won't believe it. I'll refuse. I'll live in delusion. I would rather live in delusion than believe this is not it. Oh, it works. It does. I couldn't tell you what the hell's happening, but it works. Like, dude, it totally looks like it works. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually. This is actually. I didn't tell you guys, but I'm making a glitch ROM hack level where everything progressively corrupts as the level goes on. So that totally, it was in the background. You had to catch it in one of the streams. Only repeat viewers understand what we're doing here. But that's exactly what it is. Okay, we'll make the player not a hedge anymore, so we don't have that weird effect. And then, is the array too high? I don't know. Let's make the washing wave speed 1 for now. No, we should probably leave it at speed 2 so we can actually test it. Alright. I really like the crumbling tower thing. I don't know if I want to animate a crumbling tower for each one or something, but I'll figure it out. I could just do a particle effect, I guess, too, and then have it descend. That's a good idea, too. Ooh, there's a lot of good ideas. A lot of good ideas. Okay. So what's the next thing we got to do? First, we got to make sure the building works. So... and we got to change the size of these arrays for the building requirements because they're a little too high. Maybe 2 for that, 4 for that, 6 for that, 8 for that, 10 for that, 12 for that. Let's do that. Let's just do by 2. Something easy. See if it works. Player should just stand there in place, and it should increase in size, I think, if I'm doing it right. If I'm not, then we're going to go live in delusion again. I simply can't take it. I'm incorrigible. Okay. Okay, it did work. We have a slight problem, but it did work. Okay, so why doth the sprite not changeth? We don't make me cursed AF. That actually sounds great. You're just there compiling like different stream previews or something together. Cobbling together some mad deep fried video. Okay, it's working. I don't know why the sandcastle isn't oh, maybe I'm changing to solid mold if that's what it is. Okay, sorry. Let's where is that happening at? That's a good question. So that works. It's got to be with the creation thing here, yeah. My naming conventions, they're foiling me. It's all getting to me. Okay, this should work. Then we can do the collapsing sand. Because that's a great idea, Brent. Thank you. Solves my problem. It is unstable. It has not been built. It has not been manhandled properly, and thus it cannot contain the player's weight. Perfect. It do be working good. All right. Needs to be tempered with the labor of love. It's true. That's exactly what it is, Brent. Okay, so actually the best way to beat this level then is to jump over whatever you can. Tempered with the labor of love. Yeah, that joke I was mentioning that Tyler uses uses all the time, this is where you would use it. After you gave your idea, me saying that's a good idea, you would just say 10%, as in, like, that's how much I owe you of royalties. That's exactly how he does it. 10%. Damn, wish I thought of that earlier. Yeah. Yeah, should have used it there. It's okay. I'm telling you now so that you can use it. Yeah. Whenever a good idea happens. Okay, this is pretty good, but honestly, I think the wave might need to just be like 2 or 1 or something. You gotta have room. Oh yeah, that means you owe me 80. Pfft. Addo, when we make our Find the Addo games, we might have to owe you quite a bit of money for those. If you make a Find the Addo game in Game Maker, we will help you publish it for sure. I would 100%. I don't know if you can export Scratch games that is executables, can you? I want that on Steam. Jeffrey Bezos has nothing on Addo. Addo has an empire. When he's done with those games, bro, honestly, that guy's going sky high. Okay, I think you can have it on itch.io. Yeah, but like, that makes sense. You could actually put it on itch.io. See me probably get more visibility for it. But you could put it on itch.io. My waves are actually too powerful, dude. We're gonna have to play with this a lot, I think, because we have a back and forth thing to do with this level. Because theoretically, the waves need to come fast enough so that you can't jump off the bridge. So we can't really modify the time much more, because you can, like, about here, this time I have is you're pretty close to jump off the bridge. But obviously you can't. I don't think you can anyways. Yeah. So about this is the limit. So the only thing we could do is make the waves come faster. So we gotta play with the speed of the wave. It probably needs to be really slow, honestly. Just a slow, destructive force. Yeah, that would kind of be it almost, but I'm trying to like mental math this in my head. Actually, maybe we'll get away with just like 2. The rest of my towers might be entirely unnecessary. We'll figure it out. I might actually take your suggestion, Addo, and make the thing longer. I don't know. We'll debate on it. I can do the sand tower collapsing though still. Yeah, actually that's an easy animation too, because we basically just take the maximum unmolded sandcastle and then we make 1 frame of animation for it. And then so it starts on the frame and then goes down. So here, let's do that next, because I think that's a pretty good suggestion. So first we're going to, for each of these, we're going to do like a collapse, basically. I want it to be like a little drastic looking, but it should be kind of like near the top where the player is standing. I think that should be good. And then maybe we can add more. Well, we can remove some from the sides, sort of thing. Maybe we'll billow them out. Like that. Okay, and then we can do the same for this one. So we're going to make this more drastic than the last one. Something like this. Fill that out. Show this destruction. And we can also do like more destruction. Maybe we'll do like a second thing over here. Like that. And then for this one, we can do something similar to show this crevice is deepening. Okay, and we can round these edges. Okay, probably actually do some kind of thing like that. It's basic, but we'll get there. Do like this. And then we want to like spread outward is what we're aiming for. Check Discord, posted what I made so far. Okay, give me 2 seconds and I'll look at that. 2 seconds. Bro, what the fuck? Addo's going hard, dude. Look at this thing. This looks amazing. Dude, you did a great job. I love this. This is going to be your planet selector? That's awesome, dude. Bro, the Addo game is going to be so big. I don't think we can compete, guys. It's still work in progress. Yeah, but it looks good. I love it. Good job. Keep with the work, man. It's definitely a step up from the previous game. Yeah, Jesus. Addo 2 is going to be nuts. I already loved Addo 1, so there's just more of the amazingness. I like this crumbling decay sort of look here. Okay. And then we can just okay, so it goes from like this down there. Okay. Maybe I need probably a much drastic thing for this. I don't know. Maybe like here. I suppose I could do more frames for the topmost one. It doesn't matter for the topmost one as long as the I can probably remove this. I could actually just have it spawn at whatever location it needs to spawn. Yeah, that's also true too. We shall see. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna do this in reverse, obviously. No, do we do that in reverse? Okay, I mean, it's gonna be easier than playing the animation backwards, I think, right? Okay, that's just a basic temporary animation. We'll leave it like that for now. I will come back. Actually, let's add some color, I think. Color will change this more. Let's do that. And then I'll call it good and I will go from there. It looks pretty good, thank you. Yeah, it's just temporary because eventually we're gonna be, the sand is gonna be like bleeding. I wanted to make it look like it's bleeding down kind of thing. So as long as we can get that base with some of these spires here, I think it'll probably look like that. So for each of these loops, we want to have the light source on like the top, and then we want this like the darker to cut through a little bit. Obviously some of these are different looking, so it's not going to work, but should get the effect kind of across. Okay. Just a basic thing to begin with. Okay, I'm comfortable with that to start. And then we got to figure out how we determine if the character is on top of it. So we have the sandcastle. And we should have, well, we'll do a destroy variable. Or maybe I should make it the collapse variable, actually. Since it's collapsing. And then we actually need to call this from the solid somehow. Because the solid is what needs to determine. I think this is where we use the bounding box. Because that's how we would determine if it's on the top of the bounding box. Because the way I was thinking of doing it is taking the entire sprite width and determining if you're above it. Actually, we could just take the player's v-speed initially before it lands. Let's try v-speed first because that's the easiest. So let's do in our end step if sys exists OG player collapse question mark. Are we on the verge of the collapse? Okay, so with no, we don't. Yeah, we need to do that with player. If place meeting xy plus v speed plus h speed equals obj, actually equals other dot collision box. So if it's meeting my collision box, then we're basically going to set collapse equals to true, basically. True. Is that going to work? No. It needs to be if the sign of my v-speed, so that's either negative or positive. If it's positive, actually we don't even need that to if, we can do it in add. Sign of v-speed equals to 1, which would mean it's going down. It doesn't necessarily denote it being on the top, but and we'll do other dots right index equals SPR sandcastle. What did I call it? Oh, didn't even name it. Okay. Collapse. Nani? I've upgraded it a little now. Awesome. Did you share? Oh, you did. Ooh, I like it. It's got a good HUD vibe for it. Dude, I can't wait to see what the other Addo worlds will possess. Sandcastles collapse. Okay. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Addo's got a very science focus to the stuff, and I think that's pretty interesting. I think I'm gonna stop now. Yeah, you did good work today, man. You were grinding those Addos out. You're about to make a AAA game, a triple Addo game. Okay, so we set it to collapse. Maybe we want to destroy the collision box, honestly. Because it's only going to take a couple frames. Oh, yeah, then maybe we should do other dot image speed equals 1. And then with other dot collision box Instance destroy. Didn't really add any addos, but made a whole system. Yeah, you did pretty good. Yeah, triple addo game. I like it. Yeah, that's how we're going to denote. Is this a triple addo game or is this a lower scale? Like, how many addos is this? How much company funding did you put into that? Okay. So there's that. Instance destroy. So we destroy the collision box because it's going to collapse anyways. Sprite equals that. Problem is when we change sprite index, I think we actually want it to be on whatever image index it is still. So maybe we have to grab that. So var cur index equals other dot image index, and then other dot image index equals cur index after we change the sprite. Because I think when you change the sprite index, it automatically starts at 0. Don't quote me on that, but I think I'm right. Sometimes it feels like it doesn't, though. Okay, I think this does everything. So this collapse works, and then we need code for collapse. So if collapse equals true, and if image index is greater than or equal to image number -1, then instance destroy. I'm going to make it so you have to enter the navigation code to unlock more planets. That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. More puzzles is fun. I'm finding it tough to concentrate. I've been awake since around 10:30 and it's 9 a.m. I might be slow to comment or respond. Yeah, no problem, dude. I get it. I'm almost at the end of my stream. It's only 30 minutes for me, so maybe just go ahead and go to bed. That might be better. But if you want to stay, you're welcome to do that too. I cannot believe you've been up at those weird hours, dude. And you said that was because you're off of work this week? Is that why you said you had the weird hours? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stream a couple days a week where I'll do like a later time and a couple days a week where I'll do an early time. I think that might be the best way to do it. Are you streaming again tomorrow? Yeah, I have a week off. Yeah, I'm planning on it. I want to do tomorrow. I don't know what time I'm going to do tomorrow, though. Should I do morning or should I do later? I kind of like the morning better, but I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I can figure it out. I'm going to stream every day till we get the update out, and then I'm going to figure out where to go from there. Got 16 more days of streaming every day. That's what my goal is. I gotta go. It's late for me. No problem, Addo. Have a good night. I appreciate you coming out, and I love seeing all your progress, so keep up the good work. And then I gotta remember to send Thomas the jump sound so he can make his deep fried trailer. Yeah, bye-bye. Have a good night, Addo. It's been a pleasure. I can't believe you've been up for that many hours at that weird time. You're crazy, Brent. What the heck, man? I got a weird noise. Oh. Mac Double just rated. Well, thank you. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. You rated me near the end of my stream, though. No, I appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you for the raid. Hype. I guess I gotta go longer now. That's what I gotta do. If you do it later again, I'll try to sleep during the night and wake up. You're streaming. Gotcha. Lol, dang. No, it's okay. We can talk a little bit. How are you? How's your stream going? How did it go? I'm working on my game right now. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Jump Off the Bridge. It's on Steam, but I'm aiming to release an update for Christmas, so that's why I have my countdown. So we're on 16 days, and my goal is just to release whatever I have without any expectations. So yeah, productive. That's awesome. Awesome to hear. I feel like I'm doing pretty productive, but I'm getting distracted. Yeah, I've been working on a level editor for the game since I figured I'd play into my weaknesses of I'm kind of slow to add content. So I figure I'll put it in the player's hands and let them have a go at it. Time extended. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But if you haven't seen my game before, it's pretty simple. So the goal is to jump. Yeah, I feel like it's a balance, right? With the streams. Sometimes can be distracting, but I also find it really motivating too to have people talk about the game and be excited about it and things like that. It's Daytona up in here. LMAO, yeah, dude. Daytona, time extended. So pretty simple game, but it gets a lot weirder. So we'll skip the pretext. So there's bosses that you have to fight in order to jump off the bridge. And damage, and this is like one of the simpler bosses. And then I get into some other wacky stuff. I did an MC Escher level where you have to go through and try to figure out which thing to get to the bridge. I did a level that's like a beehive that's somewhere here where you gotta avoid the bees and try to attack the queen while a whole beehive happens. There's like a weird platforming thing you gotta do. I'm making fun of a streamer, so I recently made a streamer level where you have to play through the chat where he talked about my game, and you have to avoid the wrong emojis, and it's like a platforming level. It's kind of difficult though, not gonna lie. Very cool. Yeah, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. I've been putting a lot of time into this. I released it like in 2019. But I released other stuff, and I had kind of like an artist block. I'm calling it my artistic constipation. And, that due date for that constipation is, it's going to be Christmas. We're taking a dump on Christmas. So there's that. I got a bunch of other weird stuff too. I got a spider level I'm working on. I'm using Game Maker. I'm doing it all in Game Maker. I learned Game Maker when I was in high school. I was only an artist then. And then since then I've been... I learned programming when I went to college, and then so I've been doing it all in Game Maker. It's easier for me to do it in Game Maker. I haven't done much stuff in 3D, but I do know some 3D work, so maybe at some point I'll endeavor to do the 3D level. Yeah. What do you use for your stuff? Like, what are you programming? Do you have a game or something? Because I'm assuming you were like in the software and development category. Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong. You just said you were productive, so that's why I assumed it. Yeah, feel free to plug your game too if you have one, man. I want to see them all. I want to play them all. I have a gajillion different ways to prevent the players from jumping off the bridge. Endless, even. Working on a game called Cabot Caretakers with @White Vault. Is a card battler merge type deal. Interesting. Okay. And building in Unreal. Awesome. Interesting. Yeah, Game Maker is kind of like the ugly stepchild of all the game engines. Sometimes is what I feel like, because it's more for like 2D games than 3D. I'm assuming you're doing some kind of like mix or something. Is it similar to any particular game? For example, like I know a lot more card games. I played Magic for like a couple decades. I don't play anymore. I feel like I played Magic for almost 2 decades. Probably not, because I'm only 28. But I played Magic. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I played Pokemon. More obscure games. I've played Wyvern, the card game. I've looked at other card games. I think there was like a Warhammer 40k tabletop battle game at some point where you use disc instead of models, and you had to flip them to denote how much movement they had. That was pretty interesting. So yeah, like what is the Cabot Caretaker? What is it similar to? And then also my follow-up question would be, it's gonna be similar to Slay the Spire. Gotcha. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, dude. I hate to say this, I really don't like Slay the Spire at all. I hope your game is good. I hope it's good. I hate Slay the Spire. I've not heard of Monster Train. I don't know why I hate Slay the Spire, man. I tried playing that game. I think I gave it a good like 10 hours, but I absolutely detest it. But I like roguelikes and I like card games, so it should be a match made in heaven. Hey, oh dang, I'm a fan of Slay. Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something wrong with it for me, dude. It doesn't click. Um, a card game I really admire and like, and it's terrible graphics, dude. It's like the worst graphics ever, but the gameplay is so good. Is Dream Quest, dude. Yeah, it's not for everyone. I don't know what it is. I thought maybe I was just bad at it, but there's a mechanic I don't like. Okay, the original game we were making was inspired by Slay the Spire. If I got the story right for Dream Quest here, the guy that made this was like recruited by Blizzard or something to make Hearthstone, if I remember correctly. But it's a simple game. You just go in, you pick your stuff, and then it's like a dungeon crawler. But you have to fight things, and then you build your deck of cards essentially as it goes on. So it's got some like RPG elements. It uses different things. I really enjoyed the hell out of this game. This is probably one of my favorite card battler type genre games. So like I can choose to cleanse a card from my deck, and then you have to try to get as deep as you can in the dungeon. Very ugly graphics. It is not a pretty looking game, but it has a lot of depth to it, and the card play mechanics are really good. That's probably my favorite card type of game, I think. But dude, I'm looking forward to whatever you make, man. I will play it. Do you have a release date for your Cabot Caretakers? I don't know how much progress you got on there. I can come look. I can check your VOD. We can come see that later. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I really disliked about Slay the Spire. It was a very difficult game, but I'm usually pretty good with difficulty. I think one of the things I was really annoyed with was like I think it was like the progression. You basically have to take more disadvantage. Like you almost get punished for wanting more cards. I guess maybe I felt like the progression for strength was scaled in a weird way, and I didn't like it. I think that's what it was. It was something because every time I tried to get card advantage, it was like I was punished for trying to get card advantage. And sometimes those punishments were like worse than the card advantage. We do not. However, I would like to have a demo out by Q1. Shall see if the day job allows for it. Gotcha. So this is like a hobby thing for you then? Okay. Sweet. I'm excited to see that. Do you guys, when you do the demo, are you going to just put on itch.io or something like that? Or are you going to do straight to Steam and do early access demo? I think you can do that now. Just depends on how much visibility you want, I guess. It sounds pretty neat, dude. Yeah, we have we have a lot of game dev people in chat, so a bunch of game devs. Fuzzy's game is coming out tomorrow, which I will drop. Yeah, Fuzzy he made Zombies Ate My Femboy, and that comes out tomorrow, which I'll probably play tomorrow if I get a hold of it. And then we got other guys, if their day job allows for it. I don't think Addo has a day job. But pretty good. That's awesome to hear, man. I'm excited to hear other people making games. So, pretty cool. Pretty good. Yeah, I think we're leaning towards Steam is the designer already has a few games up there already, working to establish that studio. Okay, interesting. What are the other games that the designer has? So you got a team then. So you said you're working with at White Vault. Is that the primary designer then? Are you doing like back end programming or something like that, or what? That's awesome. I guess I can search White Vault, right? Maybe. Is it the adventure of Carrot Captain? White Vault Studio. The engineer in White Vault does the art and designs. Is this it? Oh, sweet. Okay. I found it instantly. I did not think you could search by dev. Awesome. And then wait, you said you're the engineer and White Vault does the art and designs. Okay. That looks pretty mad. Pretty rad. Yeah, the art looks amazing, dude. Holy crap. Okay, well, we gotta grab that. I'm adding that to the wish list. Carrot Captain. Awesome. And did you guys get much on this? Got 14. That's a game you did solo. Cool, dude. Sweet. And then you're working with him on this one. How'd you guys meet? Harold's Harem. Can I even show this on stream? I don't know. I love Harold, though. Holy crap. Looks great. This looks like a French art design. That's just my guess. I'm getting French vibes from this. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna delve deeper into Harold's harem in case he's got edgy stuff in there. Harem just to me implies edgy. This is a spoof of the game genre you're concerned about. Okay, gotcha. So there's no nudity, right? I can look at it? Okay. I couldn't tell. There's no way to check because I have the adult stuff on there. Yeah, okay. It's a parody of that. Dude, he looks great. I love Harold, man. Looks amazing. It's a parody of, yes, I met White Vault 2's stream. Oh, that's awesome. So you guys just started to work together through that? That's cool. So Leisure Suit Larry is what I'm assuming the parody is. The Neckening. The Erotic Infiltration Unit. This is good. That's great. Okay, sweet. And it looks like you guys got similar reception for that. That's a shame because the games look really pretty, dude. I love the art. But this came out in 2020, and when did the other one come out? 2023, okay. And then you guys are doing a rabbit theme one. Yeah, we in the community finally got him to give up the coding to those of us that do it for a living. That's actually really funny. That is really, really funny. Did it take much convincing? Was he against it? That's funny. His art is amazing. He does a great job with that. I forget what the art style is called where you put faces on everything, but it looks glorious. Met him through a stream. That's awesome. Funny carrot game. 28 hours. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Okay, sweet. All right, I gotta pick those up. I'll keep that in mind when we can do them on stream. Interesting. Huh, well, neat. Well, you guys definitely have a competent artist. I can't say much about your program yet. I haven't seen it. No, I'm sure you're fine. It's supposed to be Saturday morning cartoon. Okay. It does look like a Saturday morning cartoon. The Adventures of Captain Carrot. It's got a very polished look to it. I like that a lot. It looks really good. So, sweet. I'm excited to see your card game. Like I said, I wasn't a fan of Slay the Spire, but maybe you could convert me. Maybe it could be good. So, it might be pretty good. That's awesome, dude. Do you have social media that we can follow for your stuff? I'm assuming your stream, which I can follow it after this. And then I guess White Vault Studios is what I would look for the other stuff then. Sure, 1 second. Okay, sweet. Yeah, if you just leave it in chat, I'll click it all after and follow everything. I don't really use much social media other than this and then YouTube, I guess, so. And while we're waiting for that, let's remember where we were and summarize for the end of the day here. So we have to figure out some sort of good set speed for the waves. And then we have to make, the towers collapse. That's what I was working on. Okay. Towers collapse. You have a blue sky. Okay. Sweet. All right, sweet. I'm going to follow that stuff after, and then we can keep up tabs with it. I'll be expecting your game eventually. And then, if you want to look at Jump Off the Bridge, if any of this interests you at all, I'm going to be updating it on Christmas, and then I'm going to keep going from there. So, pretty good stuff, though. I like the story of having to, force him to free the coding to you guys. That's really funny. Okay. I had another thought. What do you think about the way of destroying an unmolded castle? But it only unmolds a molded one with a shot. That's a good... yeah, honestly, Brent, that's a pretty good idea, too. Yeah, after I do the collapsing, then I'll consider that. Because, yeah, that would make more sense, is that you mold it, and then you got to run to it. Good idea, Brent. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I might actually extend the platform a little bit. I don't know if I will yet, but I'm debating on it. But yeah, then you can mold it, and then it'll unmold it, then you can add to it. That's actually probably a good idea. Brent, you got a knack for this. Have you decided game design is your passion? Game design is your career? No, that's a pretty good idea. That does actually sound pretty good. And I know it's late, but this is where you would also say the 10%. 10% moment. 10% sounds good, doesn't it? Good. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind, bro. Honestly, that's a great idea. Let me, I'll get his thing in here too. Let me take a picture of both of those so I remember. Okay, sweet. And what are we at for? We're pretty close to 4 hours. I think I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna go eat. I've watched a lot of videos in game design, and that's about the same value as the course, right? That's true. It is, honestly. I think that self-teaching is basically like is probably the same value. If at the end of those courses you can actually do stuff, I would say that they're probably similar value. So, and you probably played a lot of video games too, I imagine. You said you used to be a gamer and a Smash player, so. Ugh. All right, boys. It's time for me to go make some chicken. Brent's got to get to bed. Quite a few under my belt. Yeah, I was gonna say. I figured you had quite a few games under your belt. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for anyone who showed up. Thank you, Mac, if I can say your name. Dub Guile. Thank you, Mac Dub Guile, for the raid. I appreciate it. Go get that chicken. Thanks for streaming today. No, thank you for showing up. And then I read your message about coming at a different time, but the raid happened right about that. If you do later again, I'll try to sleep. But if you're streaming in the morning, I'll sleep earlier in the evening. If you could post a time for the next stream in Discord, that should help out my sleep. Yeah. Okay. I'll write it down. I think I'm going to end up doing morning. I want to aim for morning. So just go for morning now. Because does that fix your sleep schedule? What fixes your sleep schedule? I'll try to sleep during the night and wake up early. Okay, yeah. That fixes your... Yeah, I'll do it in the morning. We'll do it for that. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for the raid, Mac. I'm looking forward to your game. Hopefully it'll be exciting. I'm sure with the art it'll be amazing. So, and then I'm sure your programming is competent. Thank you guys all for coming out. And yeah, good stream. We'll talk tomorrow. I'm going to work on this a little bit more after I eat. And then we'll see where I'm at. And then we'll continue. Yeah, have a good one. Thank you. Thank you. Take it easy. But take it. We'll get that bag. Don't worry, Mac. We're working on it. The grind never dies. Good luck. All right, guys. Have a good night. And peace.